Gay robot in the house.
Word up.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Join us Saturday, October 13th as Disruption Network and Doughboy Barbecue presents Trip Fest 2 at the Jewish Community Center, 2310 Oneida Street in Utica. A night to pay homage to Vinny, Captain Trip Moriel. Utica icon, yo! Come pick through all of Captain Trip's personal treasures, local artist display, food from Doughboy Barbecue, beer, wine, and live music. Bands include, after a 24-year hiatus, the return of Taurus, Kate Devin, The Crazy Fools, Thunderwatt, and a 315 All-Star tribute to the Grateful Dead. Tickets are $10 in advance and $15 at the door. Partial proceeds to benefit Laney's Army. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Taurus kicks it all off at 6:30. It's Trip Fest 2, Saturday, October 13th. Trip Fest 2 is sponsored by Nye Volkswagen of Rome, 92.7 FM The Drive, Priceless Inspection, Donato Appraisal Services, Dr. Scott Domenico, and Saranac Brewery.
The Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley was born when 3 top producing agents with over 25 years of combined experience selling real estate joined forces to take real estate to the next level. We practice with honesty, integrity, and the knowledge to help make the buying and selling process easy and stress-free for all of our clients. We pledge to always make our clients our top priority from start to finish and even after the house is closed. We will always be a valued resource for information and assistance for our buyers and sellers. Our customers over the years have become not only past clients, but great friends. As we join hands together as the Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley, we look forward to serving our clients and our community and making a positive difference. You can reach us at 315-601-9630 for all of your real estate needs.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now. Rah, rah.
Welcome to the D-Line.
Illegal contact! Number 51! Zinkutsu elbow thrust! To the up back! Oimawatsu roundhouse lunge kick! To the quarterback! Takatami insword block to the... Shoot, never mind. 15 yards! First down!
Live football podcast on the Disruption Network.
You just got the feeling that he spelled the a-hole and then got it in the end zone.
You find out life's this game of inches. So is football.
And now, here's your hosts, Chicken, Caleb, and Sil.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
What's up, everybody?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Welcome to the D-Line. Thank you, Caleb and Sil. Join us again. You know, we have a legend, a sports legend in the house.
Special guest,
Mr. John Silbreth.
Hey, John, sweetheart.
No, we have we have Syracuse legend, Mr. Dale Shackleford, joining us today. How you doing, Dale?
I'm doing great.
Oh, let me turn your
Oh, I got chicken.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Let's try that again. How you doing, Dale?
I'm doing great. You got to leave the Mister out of it, though. Just Dale or Shaq.
The original Shaq, we might say.
The original Shaq.
That's right. SHACK, not a Q.
No Q. Love it.
So yeah, welcome back, man. You brought us this really cool picture that we took last time you were in here. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. There
I
it
remember
is.
seeing that.
All right.
Yeah,
It's not as cool as our bathroom pick, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. We've got our bathroom pick up on the wall, up there on the wall.
Okay.
You know, we took that at Cavallo's, one of the finest. All right.
Yeah, it was at our 1 year anniversary.
The 1 year anniversary party. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
The weirdest part about that was when 10 guys come walking out of the bathroom and a professional cameraman were all hysterically laughing. People were like, "What the frig are these guys?"
yeah, they didn't know what to think. They didn't know what to think. Yeah.
So, Dale, why don't you let us know what you've been up to, bro? I know you've been doing the Sports Express.
Yeah, I'm still doing the Sports Express. We have a multimedia platform. We do radio. We have the magazine. We have web. Also, I've been doing a lot of basketball clinics this summer. Traveling around, upstate New York, down in the Scarsdale area, also down in Florida. So, this summer was pretty busy. And I got to play a lot of golf, a lot of charity events, golf in the summer and everything. So now with college basketball getting back into swing pretty soon with practice and everything starting this week, we'll be doing a lot of radio for Syracuse basketball soon.
Oh, nice. What do you calling the games?
Well, Roosevelt and I would do a pregame show, and then we also do a postgame show. It's called Orange Appeal.
Oh, really?
And, we let people call in, ask questions and stuff. We try to do it at different venues. We draw audience. So they can ask questions and everything about the game or about players or what's going to happen during certain games and everything. So we try to analyze the games for them.
Kind of at the local areas around the hill?
Yeah.
Up on the hill and stuff?
Anywhere we can get, basically.
Exactly.
We try to do different venues all the time. So we're not at one place, but we also like to get stable somewhere where people know that we're going to be there every week and show up every game.
That's the important part right there, is making sure they know where to find you every week.
Yeah. So do you spend a lot of time on a weekly basis around the Syracuse basketball team, kind of getting a pulse for it? Are you close with Coach Boeheim? Is that kind of, how do you get your pulse? How do you get your I guess knowledge and wherewithal to kind of do that. I mean, obviously, I know you have that
summer long when
but
when the freshmen come in and everything. We get a chance to watch them work out and everything. And we try not to bother Coach Boeheim too much during the season. We get more information from Adrian Autry and Alan Griffin right now, as opposed to Coach. He gets a little too serious when basketball season comes. So we don't like to bother him.
Speaking of freshmen, Buddy Boeheim, is that any relation to Coach Boeheim?
That's his son.
Oh, okay,
really?
Yeah,
that's his son. He's going to be a great player for Syracuse. He's an excellent shooter. He's been working out all summer long, trying to get stronger. He's 6'5". He can shoot from anywhere on the floor. It's just a part of getting him physically strong.
Yeah. So they bring these guys in early in the summer.
Yeah, some of the kids take summer classes and stuff just to give them a little jump start on school, and so they don't have too much of a pressure during basketball season. They come and take summer classes, and they have summer workouts where they come in and go through conditioning and agility programs and weightlifting programs and stuff to get them ready for the season.
And you've got a lot of your strength guys at the school at that point because of football season already starting. So you got your strength conditioning guys there already. So that makes a lot of sense. See, I was a baseball guy in college, so we didn't have to get there early. We got there the first day of classes, and then we stayed a little bit later than everybody else. But no, that's awesome.
Well, I don't know if people understand now, though. Every sport has their own strength person. So
yeah,
they got a separate strength guy for basketball, football, lacrosse,
different
track,
muscle uses.
Everything. Yeah. So everybody's got their own.
Yeah, and Syracuse has the best of the facilities.
They're building more.
Yeah. Oh, it's on a football perspective, you being an alumni, just to see what Dino Babers has done, in 2 years to bring that, or 3 years now to bring that team where they are now. I mean, that's excitement is building in Syracuse, not only from a football perspective, which is cool to get back to that. Syracuse has always been a basketball school, and lacrosse keeps you busy in the spring. Not many people know about that, but
lacrosse is very good.
You've got you got two of the perennial, the bigger sports in this country, on the forefront.
It's good to see Syracuse University actually become competitive in the football.
It's going to be interesting because Babers is a no nonsense guy, and when he first took the job a couple years ago, it's either my way or the highway, and he cleaned house a little bit, and he started from scratch. So now he's starting to get his players in that he wants, that's going to buy into his system, that's going to work hard, on and off the field, and it's showing.
Yeah, and the success they're having now, will just get better recruits, and because he's a no nonsense kind of guy, like parents are going to want their kids to play for him.
Oh, exactly, and Babers is a great person, a great personality. He's good with the public and everything, and hopefully, you see his players now. They all play hard, and he has no expressions on the field during the games.
No, he's very calm and collected. I love his silent intensity. He keeps his foot on the gas pedal, keeps the foot on the throat of the opponent. He doesn't let up. I've been to 2 games this season, just went the past weekend to see the Connecticut game, and I love him. I love what he's done for that program compared to past coaches. So it's great to see. Going to be a great game this weekend against Clemson.
I haven't been as excited about a Syracuse coach since Marone. Right, since Doug Marone. Like he really had that program going in a great direction. And he left him, I feel, a little too early. But he's got to think of his own career, I guess. But.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
He's done it right. But Dale, I have to ask you, and this is, and pardon my ignorance here, and when I heard you were coming on the show, I was very excited. But can you give us your story, like tell our listeners and stuff just a little bit about yourself, like where you come from and your journey at Syracuse and stuff like that. Just a little synopsis, I guess.
I'm very fortunate. I was born and raised right here in Utica, New York. So, I was
nice,
basically local to Syracuse. I had a growth spurt in 8th grade. I went from about 5'9" to 6'1" over the summer. So, my 8th grade year of basketball. I'm the biggest person on the court.
Sure.
And, my coach, he taught me a good lesson. He says, let everybody else shoot, you just rebound the missed shots. And, my dad taught me a great lesson also. I was averaging 36 points a game in 8th grade. And, back then we only played 6-minute quarters. So at halftime, I had 4 points. And he came in the locker room and he says, you're an embarrassment to your mother and everybody that's watching you play. He goes, get dressed, you're going home.
Oh,
no, sir.
Dad, it's only halftime. He says,
yeah.
Was you Devontae Davis?
No. He said, you're an embarrassment to your mom and everybody's watching you play. So he walked me through the gym with my clothes on outside, and I'm crying, begging to play. And he said, listen, he says, if you go out there and play the way we know you can play, he goes, you can stay and play.
Yeah.
He says, but if you're not going to give 100% effort every time you're there, he goes, you'll never play this game again. So I promised him that every time I stepped on the basketball court, I'd give it 100% effort. So I got back in just in time for the second half to start. And by the end of the game, I had 48 points. So
that was the kick in the butt you needed.
44 points.
That's
12
awesome.
minutes. So I learned my lesson fast. And then I was very fortunate. I went to Notre Dame High School. We had an excellent coach at Notre Dame, Jim Klein, who gave us the opportunity to learn the game from every position. And that was one of the biggest factors in me playing at Syracuse. I was able to. My freshman year, I played center. My sophomore year, I played small forward. My junior year, I played 1 and 2 guard.
Wow.
Senior year, I played power forward and 1 guard. So, through my high school experiences and through, what I learned in, grammar school from my grammar school coaches as far as rebounding was concerned and, playing bigger than I was, that helped me through, playing at Syracuse.
Wow.
And, on top of that, I felt that when I was recruited by Syracuse, Boeheim was an assistant at the time, but Coach Danforth was the head coach. And, I felt that he was perfectly honest with me, saying that, you have to come in and earn some playing time in order to play here. I'm not just going to bring you in and say you're going to play, and you don't. So whatever you do,
something you're used to.
Yes.
Something you're used to. Yeah. You were used to at that point, yeah.
So it was fine. I had a great career at Syracuse. I had great teammates at Syracuse. I'm still close friends with a lot of them. And I was very fortunate. I got drafted by the Suns. I got cut to rookie camp. I had a trial with Boston and Portland. Got cut from both of those. I had a short stint with the Globetrotters. I got cut from the Globetrotters, and I worked for Kemper Insurance for a year, and I went from about 225 to 255 sitting behind a desk. And
of course,
this isn't what I want to do. So I ended up going to a free agent camp in New Jersey at St. Peter's College, and I got an opportunity to play in Italy for a year. Then I went to Chile for 2 years, and I spent 10 years in England, where I ended up being a player coach my last 3 years. And, it's been great. I still played up until about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And, right now I've had my feel of playing basketball, but now I'm trying to help other people, young men and women, get the opportunities that I've had in basketball.
That's
awesome.
And I think that's something lost on a lot of people nowadays, and especially me with what Dale's saying. And do you have children that you coach, Dale? Do you coach?
I don't have any of my own, but
okay.
I do coach.
Because that's
kids,
that's something for me that's been with my coaching experience in baseball and with other sports is one of the bigger problems is that you don't have people out there that really want to go and help these kids that don't have a vested interest, a vested interest that that's my son or daughter and I've got to be out there on the court to help them. No, people like me, I don't have children that I'm coaching, but it's a different way and it's a different sports, and it's almost harder for us now, I think, to try to make that difference in a kid's life or an athlete's life or man or woman's life that otherwise you don't have that invested interest being a parent.
It's tough sometimes now too because a lot of coaches are intimidated. They think you're coming after their job, and I tell them, I don't want your job because I don't want to deal with these kids' parents. I'm come and help you out. And, when practice is over, I can go home and relax.
That's exactly it.
I don't have to game plan or any of that.
That's the biggest thing. I've had opportunities and with baseball. Baseball is my sport ultimately, but I've had opportunities too to go and coach and stuff like that, be a head coach of a team, and I've told the coach, no, I don't want to deal with the parents. No, I want to help the kids. The kids are what matters. The kids are how you make a difference. I was talking to someone earlier today that we were talking about the new project over at Proctor, trying to with the Will Smith Foundation and stuff. Right. They're teaming with to build the new fields and the athletic facilities and stuff, and it blows my mind to think that there's people in this world that don't understand the difference that I really think athletics can make in a kid's education, not only life but education as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think it helps with kids, and that's one thing that with the whole, and I'm going to go there a little bit, the whole Kaepernick thing where it's dividing people against football and whatever.
Sure.
And I feel like sports brings all classes of people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're buddying up with somebody, and I always go back to the Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs or the Walter Payton and Brad Munster, all these guys that never would never even known each other, right. and they come from different walks of the world, and they become best friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They become brothers in arms.
Yeah.
And I think sports does that too. It opens you up to a world that you might not know exists, and to people that you normally wouldn't encounter. Now they're your brother.
Well, it helps you a lot in later on in life. In a regular job situation, you learn how to be a team player.
Yeah.
And
to be a leader.
You work hard to get the playing time. You don't stab a guy in the back to get the playing time.
Exactly.
Right.
Earn it.
That's how jobs are. Same way. You got to work hard to get ahead in a job and not stab the other guy in the back.
Or even to the other side, how to accept constructive criticism.
Of course.
Of course. Failing makes you a better person. I love screwing up. Yeah.
Well, you're
because I always learn something from it.
I hated to run, so I
think we all did. I think we all hated it.
No, you come from the old school, right? Where people, you took every opportunity to get on the field or get on the court or do, like you said, you had to go out there and rebound and do the dirty work and, battle out under the trenches, where I feel a lot of people now, they want to go for the glory positions. They don't want to work for it. They just feel like they deserve it. Now, do you feel like with this younger generation, you're getting a lot of that? They don't want to put as much work into it as they feel like.
Well, I think a lot of it's the way the NBA has gone over the years. Everybody's a stretch 3, stretch 4. Now everybody's a stretch 5. Everybody wants to shoot the 3. Every position out there is shooting threes. There's nothing inside around the basket. Nobody's posting up at the back of the basket, and that's the lost art of basketball right now.
What is boxing out?
We're not, we're not playing the game where it should be played. Everybody wants to have that deep ball and stay away from the physical contact and everything like that. And we all can't shoot 45% from the 3-point line.
Right.
And, a lot of us can't even shoot 10%.
I was gonna say I'll take 5.
I see a lot of these kids now. I go to practice, I have them at camp, and the first thing I do is walk out there shooting threes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Work on your ball handling a little bit. Work on your passing skills, and the fundamentals are gone because the coaches now are they're seeing it the same way as these are NBA kids and they're young kids. They need to know the fundamentals. And that's where, basketball, especially the NBA, is not as appealing as it used to be. But there's lost a lot of interest. I mean, you watch women's basketball. I mean, they're great. They pass well. They rebound.
They move without the ball.
It's a little more physical than most men's games I watch.
Yeah, it is.
I think you go back to more of the pure style where they move without the basketball. They actually run plays. Whereas it seems like in NBA it's a lot of isolation, a lot of just.
That's basically it. Everybody wants to, like I said, everybody wants to shoot the three. I mean, I played on teams. Any player on the floor is capable of scoring 20 points at any given time. You got to have players that are unselfish to say that, okay, I just got to do my job, and whatever happens, as long as we give 100% effort to win the game, then we're satisfied.
No,
you can't be satisfied by just scoring 20 points and you lose by 20.
And I'm always surprised too. Like these guys are built like brick shit houses, and they play soft.
Yes.
I look at guys like Dwight Howard. The guy's a monster. He should be dominating the inside of that the court. But yet he just never.
Yeah, but look
progressed.
what he's doing this summer. He's working on his 3-point shooting.
Right, where he should be working on a turnaround jumper on the baseline.
That guy, yeah.
I mean,
upper body work.
Kareem lived on the sky hook.
Exactly.
Kevin McHale lived in a low post. He had 6-7 different moves.
Right.
You don't see that anymore.
Patrick Ewing came in the league, couldn't shoot a foul shot to save his life, couldn't hit a jumper to save his life. And
but he would back you down.
Yeah.
But as he
around after a while,
towards the end of his career, he had a nice little short range jumper, and for a big guy, that goes a long way. I mean, Kevin Garnett, he had a couple good shots. He could pick and choose on his post.
I'll be honest with you, Mike. For me, I'm at the point now where I can't even watch the NBA. I only watch college basketball. The NBA does not interest me anymore. I will only watch college basketball and Dale, you might want to cover your ears for this. I'm a very big Duke fan. Okay, all right. I hate to say it. All right.
Poop fan.
You're root for whatever you want.
Amen. I appreciate that. But
Duke, really?
And I know, and even there, I'm even having trouble with them nowadays in this the whole the one and done concept and stuff. And that's an argument that or the debate we can go down the road in a few minutes on. But it's just. There's something to go out there and enjoy to watch it be played for. You're going out and you're watching these guys in college. You never know what the next opportunity could be. Right. You don't know what it is. You don't know what the next opportunity is. You don't know what the next chance at playing is going to be. And I just think that's why I like watching college basketball more, because you watch the NBA and it's just. These guys kind of take possessions off. College basketball, they don't take possessions off.
It's like this; they're getting paid regardless.
Yeah,
and that's how a lot of them feel.
And you know what? And you know what too? Let's look at the body of work of Syracuse over the last few years in college basketball. They've been a team, and pardon my French, they've been a team that hasn't been able to do shit. They're not supposed to do shit, but they get to the NCAA tournament. And they're there. And they've made runs. And they've made runs because you know what? You never know. You never know what the next day is going to be. It's always balls out every time you're on the court. And that's what I appreciate about college basketball. I think it's different in a sport like the NBA.
And it's tough because a lot of these coaches, you got kids coming from every walk of life, every situation. I mean, all these kids are stars in their own right in high school. Mm-hmm. But now you go to college, you got someone there who's just as good, if not better than you are. So now you got to work a little harder, and these coaches have a tough time to try to get these guys to gel together, and that's what makes the game interesting.
Well, the last time you were on, Syracuse was right on the bubble of making it into the tournament, and you're like, they're going to make it. Yeah. Like, you really think so? And he's like, they're going to make it. And not only did they make it, they went on a hell of a run, man.
They had a nice run last year.
I was eating crow. I didn't think they were going to do it, and
that's a tough question to ask me, because even right now, before the season starts, I think Syracuse will make the tournament. So,
Well, they got 3 seniors, a couple juniors, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, so they're young. But I've got more hopes for this season than I had last season. So
they got all 5 starters back.
Right? Yeah.
First time in a long time. So
I think you got Coach K, you got Belichick, Bobby Knight, all these guys. Whenever they're a coach, you have a chance.
Yeah, you always have a chance. Coach Boeheim
is one of those coaches.
He's one of those coaches.
As long as Boeheim's there's always a chance.
But Belichick's the system. Boeheim, the system. The zone, man. It is.
Look at Team USA. Coach K is the head coach of Team USA. What defense do they play? He doesn't coach defense. He brings Boeheim in to do it. Does that not explain what it is?
Guy to learn the zone.
Exactly. No, Dale, I have to ask you that question though. I know he was assistant there, and you've been around the program for a while and stuff like that. What is Coach Boeheim like? Like, give us the in depth on Coach Boeheim. And not a lot of us know the calm, cool, collected, and then a lot of us see the Duke sidelines with the suit jacket coming off. So
the thing with him, I played for him for 3 years.
Sure,
and we had, and this is. No knock on any of the guys that are there, and there's no comparison to when I played as to the guys that are playing now. But we had a bunch of blue collar, upstate New York guys, and we just wanted to play basketball. We wanted to win, and we wanted to do the best we can to win. I mean, Boeheim never had to yell at us for anything. We always went out, we played hard, we worked hard, we helped each other out. Yeah. We did the things that we needed to do to try to win. It wasn't a point of me trying to score 20 or somebody else trying to score 20. Yeah. And, everybody asks about Boeheim. I loved Boeheim because I played.
Yeah.
Everybody says,
well, he's honest.
Those guys that don't play, that's going to say bad things about him. Yeah. I love the guy. I played for him. But, it's a situation where, it's very hard to try to tell these young kids nowadays that coaches give you scouting reports on what they see. They spend hours on end watching film or going to games and scouting games and stuff. And these guys don't pay attention to that. And if you listen to the scouting report or you pay attention to the scouting report, you're gonna at least have the opportunity to do well.
Yeah,
we had Rick Pitino as assistant coach for us 2 years when I was at Syracuse.
Come on, did you really?
Yes.
What was he? Say that. What was he? 3 years old.
Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino was at Syracuse.
I never knew that.
They were on the same.
I didn't think he was old enough back then.
Sophomore, junior year.
Boeheim and Pitino were on the same bench together.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Keep going.
Pitino was a great scouting coach. I mean, he could tell you, the strength and weakness of a player by watching them for 5 minutes and tell you, what you should do against him and what he can do and what he can't do.
Wow.
And, I played a game against Rhode Island. They had a guy, Sly Williams, left-hander. Uh-huh. He was averaging 25 points a game. He says, I don't care where he is on the floor, you walk on his left hand. Yeah. Just stay on his left hand. No matter what he does, you just stay on his left hand.
Can't do anything the other way.
The whole game, and I held him to 6 points, and I stole the ball from him 4 times.
Nice.
So it's simple things like that that these guys don't understand. And we had guys that we played a lot of man to man. The only time we played a zone is after a foul shot or after we press. We'd play a zone, but other than that, we played full court, 40-minute man to man, up and down the court. But I tell these guys, I said, if the 4 of us is on the floor and one of us is having problems with guarding somebody, then guess what? I'll take him, you take my man. Mm-hmm. These guys leave you high and dry. Your man scoring big on you. Well, one of us has got to help you out.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be a leader on the floor, and that's where Syracuse has failed in a few years. That every time something goes on the floor, they're looking to the coach for answers. No, somebody on the court's got to give an answer.
Well, the problem is nobody stays long enough to become a leader. That's the problem. They keep leaving too early.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just like a job. Everybody wants to be promoted to the next level.
Yeah.
To the next position. So, that's the way sports has gone over the years.
Of course.
It's a job now. It's not, college is entertaining, but, after a couple of years or a year or two, it's a job. Because now everybody's thinking about the next level.
Yep.
I just think with, if some of these guys stayed and finished out to their senior year or even stayed to their junior year, Syracuse could have a lot more championships under.
Oh yeah. As much as I want as a fan for Syracuse, for players to stay, he's right. It's a job.
But a lot of them don't even
get to the money level now.
A lot of them don't even pan out. Like Paul Harris. Some of these guys that left.
But once you get that opportunity, once you sniff that opportunity of getting that chance, it's.
But I'm gonna put myself on a line here and say a couple of things there. But some players are cancers for teams, and coaches are glad to get rid of them.
True.
Right.
Yeah. So a kid wants to go early. The coach says, "Well, sure, I'll help you get out of here. Let him go." So now, guess what? You bring somebody else in that's going to be a little more manageable. That's going to play the way you want them to play, not cause any problems off the court. We don't know because we're on the outside looking in.
Right.
Yeah.
As what players are going to be. Look at Eric Devendorf. Eric Devendorf was one of the craziest guys ever in college basketball. But he turned himself around.
Yeah.
He was on the assistant strength coach at Syracuse. Now he's the same position at a small college up in Michigan.
Yeah.
I look at guys like Dante Green, Tyler Ennis, some of these guys, even Mike Carter Williams. That could have stayed a few more years or at least another year and developed. Like Michael Carter-Williams, I felt he was good. He had a lot of the good attributes you're looking for, but he wasn't quite a leader yet. Right. And he did a lot of mistakes. And I feel like if he came back for another year and became that leader on that team, it would have helped him progress into the NBA a lot better.
Well, and to his defense, he ended up with a lot of injuries.
True.
Throughout the NBA and stuff, and once you get those back injuries, it's tough to recover for some guys and everything. And some of these guys aren't strong enough to do that. In NBA, it's a physical game.
Yeah.
And, it's like these kids are right now trying to go from high school to the G League and all that stuff. Well, guess what? You got grown men trying to make the NBA that's in the G League that's been there 3 or 4 years. You think they're going to take it easy on you because you're a highly talented high school kid?
It just shows you what a great coach Boeheim is, to actually put out a competitive team every year and losing all his star players almost every single year.
I think you said it perfectly too. It's system. It's a lot of system.
I said that.
He breeds. Oh, you said that. Sorry. he breeds winners. So
you get the guys that play well together. And Boeheim, he recruits kids that with length.
Yeah.
Because he loves the 2-3 zone. I think a couple of years ago, with Andrew White and John Gillum, they was hurt when those guys played in the zone because they didn't play that system for a long time, and they weren't willing to sacrifice as much as the guys that were recruited by Syracuse to do that. They know they were 1 year and done, so the zone wasn't there for him, and nothing against Gillum, he was just too small to be up front of that zone.
Yeah. Now let me ask you another question too, Dale, because you mentioned that you played 10 years overseas, and I think it's important, and it falls on deaf ears to a lot of people in this country, and a lot of people just in this area in general that don't understand the opportunities that you can have to go and play in other places and make a living and enjoy your experience there. It's not, there's not just one league in this world, whether it be the NBA, whether it be the NHL, whether it be the MLB, or whether it be the NFL. There's other opportunities to go do your craft and make a living doing that. So I think maybe speak a little bit to that, because I think it's very missed by a lot of people.
Well, it's a situation where you've got to be willing to do that. You're leaving all your so-called freedom and luxuries in the U.S. and to live and adapt to another country. And I'm a firm believer you live as they live. I don't sit around the hotel or the apartment waiting for somebody to come get me. I'm going to go out and adventure and seek and find things to do.
Yeah.
And to entertain myself, or to get involved in the community and things like that. I used to go out and give out tickets for our games and stuff, just to get people in the arena. That's how we generated fan base for our team and stuff. A lot of guys, you got to take advantage of that. And even a lot of guys that go to the NBA now, they're sending those guys to Europe and stuff to develop them, because the leagues are getting bigger and better there. The international players are getting better, and those opportunities are there. I mean, look at the WNBA. Most of those women in the WNBA go and play in Europe because they make more money in Europe than they do playing in the WNBA.
Yeah. Wow. China and
China for them, that's a great opportunity. And most countries, they have 3 leagues. You have your Premier League, you have a second division, and then some of the teams have a third division where there's different levels that you can play on. I mean, I went from my first year in England on a second division team to my third year playing on the first division team for the next 7 years.
And on the third level is the Knicks, right?
I'm a Knicks fan too.
Did you now? Am I correct in saying that you knew Kobe's father?
No, Roosevelt.
Oh, Rosie did.
Yeah,
okay.
Rosie,
Remember you guys came in
play with Joe Bryant. Yeah. He was out of college before I played.
He played in Italy as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He was in Italy for a long time, yeah.
Somebody wrote in here from Disruption saying how the story goes, Boeheim tracked Patino down while he was on a honeymoon.
Yeah, but Patino was on his honeymoon. Actually, they were all leaving the University of Hawaii. They had some problems there, and all the coaches had to disband or whatever. And Rick Pitino had just gotten married, and Coach Boeheim says, "Well, I'm offering you an assistant coaching job at Syracuse. What do you want to do?" He goes, "Well, I'm going on my honeymoon." He goes, "Well, either you want the job or you don't."
Oh man!
Yeah.
So the honeymoon was postponed for a little bit.
Nice.
Sold.
He showed up. So and I, to be honest with you, Coach Pitino did a great job at Syracuse. I think everybody that was under his guidance, as he coached all the guards. We all learned a lot, and we understood that if you work hard at it, it makes it easier for you during the game.
I think Pitino is one of those guys, again, along with Boeheim and Coach K and Bobby Knight and all those, that he has to be mentioned in that discussion. I mean, the guy's proven
he's an excellent coach.
Except for when he played, coach the Celtics, so whatever.
Well,
Right.
There's a difference because you're coaching guys that are making millions of dollars more than you. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get in their face and say anything that they're in Pitino's in your face type of guy. And you can do that in college, but you can't do that in the pros. And guess what? They'll get rid of a coach before they get rid of a player.
Right. It didn't transfer
and
over.
The players, that's right. And the players will easily boycott you in the pros as opposed to in college.
Why do you feel like you think that's the main reason why a lot of these college coaches don't translate into the professional leagues?
Well,
I see in NFL.
A lot of them don't want to. It's a point where they enjoy coaching young men. They enjoy developing them for the next level. I'm quite sure they get more credit for doing that than they would be coaching an NBA team, unless you're Brad Stevens and you take a team from the cellar and almost win a championship or divisional champion. I
think it's also important to remember. Brad Stevens is a great point. I think it's also important to remember when you talk about Brad Stevens, you're talking about Brad Stevens coming, yes, a Gordon Hayward almost three-pointer away from winning a national championship, but you're talking about Brad Stevens coming from a Butler program. Mm-hmm. All right, you're not talking about Brad Stevens coming from Syracuse or coming from North Carolina or coming from Duke or coming from a top or even a UCLA, a top-tier program. I'm not taking anything away from Butler, but what I'm saying is,
what's a smart school?
When you get that opportunity, I think to transition to that point, if you're Brad Stevens, it's why not. If you're Coach K, and in years back when the Lakers called, it's why?
Yeah, but
what do I have to do? What would be the point of me going to LA and trying to prove it? Because if I fail, I'm Nick Saban. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and reclaim my resume like Nick Saban did in college. And he did a damn good job of it. But
also like to give Brad Stevens a little more credit too. I mean,
sure,
Brad Stevens comes from a Butler, which I mean, if you're a recruit, you don't want to play at Butler. You want to play at Duke. You want to play at North Carolina.
I take nothing away from Brad at all.
So when you're in college, they pick you.
Right.
When you go to the pros, you got to pick them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You could be winding up with the Cleveland Browns.
Well, you got a bunch of Eagles there, and
right.
I think he's done a great job there in Boston.
I do too, and especially early on when Danny Ainge is changing his lineup every other week. But now they found some magic and it's going to work, and I think he's doing a great job.
Well, Pat Riley's a good example. He said, he was asked a question years ago when he was coaching the Lakers. He goes, what do you say to Magic and what do you say to Kareem? And he goes, I don't say anything. He goes, those guys are making $10, $20 million more a year than I'm making. What am I going to say to them? Yeah. Those guys are going to play and earn their money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't have to say anything to them. It's like with Bird and McHale and Parrish and those guys with Boston. I mean, those guys came to play.
Yep. Yeah. And I got to give credit.
Pistons,
Pistons.
They went from a team that was in the cellar to a team that everybody feared to play against.
Wait, which Pistons are you talking about? Are you talking about
the bad boys?
Bill Laimbeer,
Dennis Rodman.
Rodman was the good boy on that team.
Yeah.
But I also like the other incarnation of the Pistons, the other version, which you had Ben Wallace.
Yeah, well,
but Chauncey Billups.
They were a physical team still.
Yeah, Rasheed Wallace.
Yep.
They had a great beat 'em up team, and that's what I love. That's Pistons basketball. My brother's checking in. He said Dino Babers should be mentioned in the same category now. He feels that he's going to be one of those coaches that you always have a chance.
Well, I think he's going to be. He's already turned Syracuse program around, and he's going to get more recruits in, and he's going to give the players going to get more confident and come in and play for him. He's already had a couple of kids transfer from other schools to come to Syracuse, so.
I really hope he's the Boeheim, the next Boeheim of Syracuse. I really hope he stays around for 20+ years.
Well, we don't want him to be the next Boeheim. We want him to be the.
Well, no. I mean, just in longevity, longevity alone.
Success.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah,
success. He's. I think as much as Syracuse loves their basketball, if you get a good football team in there, which we haven't seen since Donovan McNabb playing there,
the Dome is one of the hardest places to play, man. In anything you play,
I think that place will be rocking. You get them a good record, and you get them a team to rally around. I think that place will be rocking.
It's hot in there.
We come out with a win over Clemson this weekend. It'll be rocking again.
Yeah, you think they're going to beat Clemson?
They're rocking again.
They did it last year.
Clemson's in turmoil. Clemson's in turmoil.
I know.
Well, they lost one of their quarterbacks.
Yeah, Kelly.
Oh yeah, he's going to transfer out. They're going with a freshman this week, but the freshman's supposed to be good. So we'll see how it goes.
And it's in Syracuse.
If he stays healthy.
Right.
Is it in Death Valley or is it in Syracuse?
It's in Death Valley.
What do you mean it's hot in there? It's named after air conditioning.
I know, but it's
not even around anymore.
2 years. 2 years.
Jeez, hold on.
Oh man, that's
you're in a hot dome named after an air conditioning company that's not even around anymore.
Yeah. I know. I think they're stuck in that contract. I don't know if they can get out
for
of it.
life.
Yeah,
I love that place. I love that. I love going to the Dome. I've been to the NCAA tournament there the last few years. Whenever it's been there, those are cool games.
Those are
fun
great.
games to go to. Especially you get two. You get two for the price of one.
As much as I love Syracuse college basketball, that walk through the quad in the middle of winter just sucks so bad.
Oh man,
it's so cold. That's why I like football season better.
You want to know my first Syracuse basketball game ever was, and this is bad. It was an L to a Rome native, Buddy Evans.
Oh yeah,
Buddy Evans' son. When they lost to Lemoyne at the Dome, that was my first ever Syracuse game. Oh. That was my first. Wesley Johnson was there, and that was my first ever Syracuse.
Well, that was a situation where Boeheim was trying to prove a point because the players were complaining about playing his own defense, and Boeheim says, "Listen," he goes, "This is the best defense that I think we can play.
Yeah,
but if you guys want to play man to man, and Lemoyne had a great team that year."
Yeah, they did. They had a really good team. I think they went pretty deep.
Yeah, a big team and everything. And he says, "Okay, if you're going to play man to man, let's see you play man to man." And they couldn't do it.
Say what you want about the Lemoyne program too. That's been the moving ground for head coaches too over the last few years. Yep. I don't know where Coach Evans went, but I know this past year, I think their head coach went to one, team in the Northeast, a D1 in the Northeast.
Now, did Beeline left?
I believe he left. Yeah, Beeline's son. Yeah, because Beeline was. Yeah, the Beelines have so many connections upstate New York. So, but now, Dale, are you? I know you said you mentioned your clinics. Are you affiliated with a team now? Are you coaching a team now?
No, I don't coach any teams or anything like that.
No, you just do your clinic work and stuff like that.
I volunteered to come in and work out some of the players that needed and everything. And I do a couple little clinics for some programs down in Scarsdale and down in Florida and that. So
now, do you ever? And I know you might not be able to speak to this too much, but do you ever get maybe the side call from a college head coach anywhere or anything like that saying, hey, go run down and take a look at this kid, see what you think about this kid. Let us know what you think about this kid.
I've had people ask me about kids. I had a kid at Syracuse basketball camp about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's about 6'10", and actually he was from Martha's Vineyard.
Really?
And he was about 6'10", but he was very, very heavy.
Yeah.
But the kid worked hard. Anything I asked him to do during the camp for that week, he came and did extra work every day. Both sessions, morning and night. And the kid really worked hard. And I got a call from assistant coach Bernie Fine called me and asked me about him. And says, somebody asked, and he said, well, he had Dale Shackleford at camp.
Yeah.
And he says, well, can you call him and ask him what does he think? And I said, listen, the kid will do anything for you. He'll work hard and everything. Well, apparently the kid had dropped about 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And, he was playing great. He's 6'10", Martha's Vineyard is not much.
No, it's not a basketball hotbed. It's not a basketball hotbed.
But, kid ended up, going to an Ivy League school and doing well. So, every now and then you get somebody to ask about it.
Yeah, you get that ask from coaches. I'm sure with like you said with your name and stuff like that.
Especially when Hopkins was here, with kids in this area and everything. He always asked me about kids in this area because I go to a lot of high school games and stuff in the area.
Sure.
And then I go down to New York a little bit and they'll ask me about certain kids and everything, but. I'm not, on the hot recruiting trail.
Sure, I will ask you this because I think we're coming to the time that it's going to happen, and I think we're a few years away from it. And I'm not asking for any inside information or anything like that, but I'm going to ask you, who is the next coach at Syracuse? Who's the next Syracuse basketball coach? If you just had your throw against the wall, what you think?
Well, I think Mike Hopkins will come back.
You think so?
Yeah, and with John Walcock as the athletic director, who is a Syracuse grad, he was a year behind me in school at Syracuse. I think he's going to stay with Syracuse guys.
The plan, the plan kind of stays its course.
I think basketball wise, you have to keep Syracuse guys involved.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the few teams in the country that have the whole staff is ex-Syracuse players in that. So
you don't think GMAC will take over?
I don't know if he's going to have enough experience. We'll see how he does this year. But I think I'm just saying from gut feeling that if Coach does leave, it won't be until his son graduates in 4 years.
He has another son at Cornell too, right?
Yeah,
there's another son playing at Cornell, right?
Yeah, he's a decent player. He's not as good as the younger brother, but they both work hard and they play hard.
Now I'm going to go a little different direction. I want to know a little bit more about the Sports Express.
Yeah,
what do you guys?
I'd love to hear about that.
Well, we're like I said before, we're a multimedia platform. We try to get organizations involved in writing articles for our magazine and our website. We sell ads for the magazine. We sell ads for the web. We sell ads for the radio show. And, we try to get out in the communities and help with, their fundraisers and things like that to help their organizations, make money and do things. Roosevelt and I have done a lot of autograph sessions and stuff and little clinics here and there. And, we just try to get out and, boast the sports within the community.
What are some of the organizations you worked with?
Well, actually, we've done a lot with the Utica Curling Club.
Oh, okay.
We've done a lot with the high schools in the area. I try to deal with most of the high schools in the area. We've been down to Springbrook down in Oneonta, they have a special needs facility. They have about 75 residents there. And, Roosevelt and I went down a couple of times and did a couple of basketball clinics down there for the special needs kids there. And I've done a few clinics around, the Syracuse area. Just day clinics.
So it's kind of a CNY thing.
Yeah, and we go to different sporting events.
Sure.
We're involved with the Upstate Sports Association here in Utica, and what they do is they try to get sports equipment and things for the youth. Because right now, a lot of schools aren't paying for the kids' equipment and stuff like that. So. That organization tries to help them, provide money for them. They have
you help people get grants and stuff like that.
They have a Jersey ball that they do in February, and they raise money for that. And so we, a couple of Syracuse athletes. Actually, I'm trying to get Lawrence Moten to come down this year to be part of that this year. So we go anywhere and everywhere that. People ask to, try to help them, raise money for their organization.
So it sounds like a lot of moving around. You should probably call EGA Moving Company. Professional movers, 315-335-0516. They're competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, complete packaging, and unpackaging services. They work with everyone and make it simple for you to move and relocate. EGAMoving.com. When it's time to relocate, have EGA Moving do all the work for you.
Sounds great, John.
That was good.
I like that little segue right into that.
Well done. So it sounds like you keep yourself busy then. Wow, jeez.
It's always there's always something to do, and it's I'm a firm believer. Every kid needs an opportunity, and try to give them that opportunity. And if I could, just give them some advice that one day they'll remember that. Okay, I heard this from Shaq or whatever that may help me. In my game or with my game or with life in general.
So do you get a lot of calls to go to like local basketball practices around here, like Notre Dame, or does?
Well, I go to Notre Dame all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah. That's my alma mater. So
I was going to say,
I got to go there.
Who's there now? It's not Coach Durr anymore.
Probably an open door.
Who's the head coach? They just switched. It was just this year, right? Yeah. I love Coach Durr though, man. That guy. There's no. So when I was in high school, Coach Durr was still the head coach there too, and there's no other guy that can get redder in the face than that guy. Well, he's like redder than your shirt, but he knows what he's doing. Oh, Buddy Evans, Buddy Evans is a good point. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's awesome, man. Like I said, I try to stay involved as much as I can too in the local sports scene. So good. Kudos to you for doing it too. So,
all right, we should probably talk some football.
Should we talk some football? we've got two Jets fans here tonight. Finally,
oh my god,
Dale's a Jets fan.
Jets.
I don't
wait. The Jets had just lost to the Browns.
Yeah, we'll give them that.
Well, we'll give them. we got to keep the league interesting.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give them that. Did you see? But I mean, come on, how good was Baker though?
He played well. He played really well.
I was half right. He came in by injury only, but Tyrod played like poop.
He would have been. Is it Tyrod or Tyrod? No, they're calling him Tyrod now. I'm like, dude, you went like 6 years named Tyrod. Now everyone's calling you Tyrod.
It's Mr. Taylor now. Fine.
It's Mr. Left Bench.
Well, he's out.
Did you also see Eric Reed just got signed?
Yes, he signed today.
Yep.
So
Good.
I guess all the collusion talk is over now because
his lawsuit's probably gone. But Eric Reed is a great player. I'm sorry, he's a great safety. I wish the Bears would have picked him up.
Oh, absolutely.
Really? I'm surprised it took this long for him.
I'm
to
glad
get signed.
he got signed.
Yes.
I mean, he's a great player. Like you could say he's a great player, and my argument was why he didn't get all the hoopla was because he's not a quarterback. I mean, quarterbacks are the stars of the team.
Right.
But and I feel like when it comes to talent, he's way better than Kaepernick ever was.
Right, but Kaepernick should still be signed.
He should play somewhere. Absolutely, I think it's time.
When it comes down to it, he's still. Do you want us to give him a minute?
I feel like
No, that's Roosevelt.
I thought it was Michael Myers or something. I thought we were going to get murdered over here.
No, I did see that today. I saw Eric Reed. I think that's just an example of the best player, available. I mean, you sign the best player that solves your needs. That you have an off week. So Carolina's off this week. So hey, here we go. Perfect chance to integrate him into the defense, and here we go.
And he's playing with an already decent defense.
Yeah. He should be able to step in. All he's going to do is make that defense better now. And they're a good defense. He's going to take it that next step.
We've gotten to the point. Yes, there's the lawsuit happening against the NFL, but we've gotten to the point where I think the NFL genuinely wants to. You guys do your thing. Act how you do whatever you feel is the best way to get recognition for your cause. Go about it and do it. And we have moved on.
Well,
as long as we don't hear comments from different people that shouldn't be commenting on it, then we can move forward.
Well,
and I think I think we're in a good spot for that. And I think Eric Reed this is an example of how we move on.
There's a few teams out there that like the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
That put together an initiative. They put together a committee of guys to breach the distance between the public and police officers and football players and the public.
Yeah.
And trying to get around the whole police brutality.
Sure.
And looking at as police officers as adversarial. People
done things to help the help
absolutely
the cause.
And now you see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are actually walking around with the police officers, going on ride-alongs with them.
Mm-hmm.
This is what needed to happen, and I like the idea of actually doing more positive things and not always looking at the negative. I feel like when we look at the negative, it just becomes more negative.
It does.
It becomes it's at that point it's still part of the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is dragged on too long because we're listening to too many opinions from everybody else.
Right.
And just whatever it is because that's not the only incident that's happened. That's not the only time guys have ever knelt during the national anthem or anything else. I mean, how many times you go to games where people are sitting there with their hats on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they're sitting down in the stands, or they're standing there talking.
Their fat asses eating their nachos and I don't give a
That's
shit.
the same thing as disrespectful, and I don't think the situation with Kaepernick was disrespecting the flag or the military or anything like that. It was just him. He's trying to make a point. We never said anything about Tim Tebow kneeling because of the abortion rights or anything when he knelt during the anthems and stuff. So why make it?
That Tim Tebow
totally
point
agree.
never came up.
Yeah,
all this talk at the Tim Tebow point never came up. That's a good point.
Because I think with Tim Tebow, what the difference is that when the Kaepernick situation came up, it was given light by someone and people that caught a lot of people's attention. So it was brought to the forefront. Whereas the Tim Tebow thing was okay. We us people in sports knew about it. People who are involved in sports knew about that. But it's all about what you give people, and that's what a lot of these people that are against certain causes. You don't realize what you're doing until you give light to a certain cause.
And I'm glad that they're actually taking more of an initiative to actually do something more positive.
Yeah.
But other than that, we'll move along because that's a touchy subject, and I'm glad it's moving forward.
Exactly. I think we've done well. And now, Baker Mayfield, I will say I was beyond impressed. The only problem I have is the guy has the longest throwing motion I've ever seen in my life.
And that's going to hurt him when you got a guy like Khalil Mack coming around.
Did you see that?
Yep.
It's like, woo!
Once you get a Khalil
but it's
Mack
fast.
in there,
when it comes out of that hand, it's poof. It's bullet.
A J.J. Watt, any of those guys that got those long arms, and when he reaches back like that, I see a lot of batted down balls.
Yeah.
But
it's a bullet when it comes out.
He wasn't even the best rookie of the week.
No, he wasn't.
Josh
You're right.
Allen kicked ass.
Josh Allen.
Dude, what was up with those Vikings?
Wow.
I don't even know where to begin how they poo-pooed all over the field. I mean, that was it the left tackle was just getting beat up. I mean, it made the Buffalo Bills defensive line look like the goddamn steel curtain. You know? It was freaking gross.
Yeah. Exactly. Zach just put it perfectly. He hopscotch over that jump play over the linebacker.
Yeah, our caption this week. Yeah,
come on. Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. Like what? Like,
Josh Allen came out like a monster.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, you never know. And I'm telling you something, and I've said it before, and I've said it to my friends. I'm saying it now again. Kirk Cousins is not that good. Kirk Cousins is not $30 million good. Kirk Cousins is not the top free agent quarterback.
But we're throwing money at these quarterbacks. Okay, at one point, Matthew Stafford was the top quarterback in the league, top paid quarterback. Then Garoppolo. And
correct.
You're paying these guys, Kirk Cousins, you're paying these guys astronomical money.
For what Kirk Cousins did this past weekend, you could have paid Case Keenum about $30 million less.
Yeah, well, Case Keenum shouldn't be in the NFL, but
he's winning. He's playing well.
Let me start by saying your mom.
As a value pick,
nice lady.
As a value pick, Case Keenum is a great quarterback for what they paid for him.
Yeah,
in the productivity they're getting out of him, it's a great deal. I just don't understand why they throw money at these guys that are a bunch of maybes or one hit wonders. That
Mike Glennon.
I think a lot of they don't give enough credit to the offensive line.
True.
Yeah, that's who you should pay.
Look at the big man talking about the guys in the trenches.
Right.
It's like
you got it.
It's like in basketball. You're trying to say that this guy's great, that guy's great, but he's not going to go out there and beat five guys by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Jordan.
And the quarterback, well, he can't do it either. Unless you got
Allen Iverson
third graders. Allen Iverson was just faster than everybody else in the world.
He's a
the quarterback's not going to go out there with no line and be able to hit his receivers, or they won't have a running game or anything. So I don't think that we give enough credit to the
O-line is a huge asset. I mean, when you can have a great O-line, you open up the running game, you open up the passing game.
The unsung guys in all sports are the guys that should be. It almost should be an even salary for everybody. That's the biggest problem. Is there's a lot of guys that are forgotten about, and there's a lot of guys that put in work that no one realizes that adds so much to the game. I mean, this past weekend it was there was an offensive lineman through one of the greatest blocks I've ever seen in a play, and I'm blanking on it totally now. But if he hadn't been there, that team loses because it was that late in the game. That's what I'm saying. It's the little things that you have to watch in sports and see in sports to understand them.
Last week there was a crap ton of I can't believe I didn't swear of missed kicks. Yeah. Well, this week there was 3 blocked punts and a blocked field goal. So it's those little things that matter that make a difference. I mean,
and everybody out there, take your favorite team and name one special teams player on it. Because they're backups at other positions, or they're special teamers. For instance, New Orleans backup quarterback is one of their best special teamers. He returns punts for them as well. No one that's kind of like gone by the wayside with a lot of people, but he is one of their best punt returners, and he's one of their best special teamers on punt and field goal. It's those guys that make the things go round.
Well, it brings me back to the Ian Badagio. Remember him?
Yeah.
Another guy that he was a special teamer.
Special teamer, backup D lineman, but he was just the best special teams tackler. He always broke that wall and made the tackle. He was always second guy down the field because Patrick Manley was first. The long snapper, special teams guy. But
then you look at Steve Tasker.
Yep.
Some of these guys, they made their career out of playing special teams. And you need those guys. And that was what I was getting back to when we were talking about, these players that are feel like they're owed a position or they don't want to go out there and fight for it. Like when we coach football, some of the guys, nobody wanted to play special teams. And, the guys were sitting the bench and they were almost complacent sitting the bench because they wanted to wait their turn to, they thought they should start. Right. And I look at the guys, I'm like, guys, you should take every opportunity to get on that field. You play special teams and you play your ass off, and you make sure you make a name for yourself, because the more you're out there, the more we see you and get to see you play. And I look at Dale Carter when he first came into the league, Terrell Davis when he came in, he started on special teams and lit a dude up. And I remember Dale Carter, first time watching him, he was crushing on special teams. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Next thing you know, he's our starting corner at KC, killing it. And that's where you got to get your start. You got to get the coach's attention by getting in the game and doing the dirty work. And I feel like a lot of guys, they don't want to do the dirty work. They just want to be anointed the starter.
Right. Yeah. Or their dad told them they should be in a certain position.
Lonzo Ball.
True.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I feel like special teams is definitely one of those areas that like these younger players should take every opportunity to get out there and just ball out.
Did you have the? You have like I think it's Dale. You could speak to this too. It's lost on a lot of people that you just don't realize. You know, I have buddies. I have a couple of buddies who play in the minor leagues in baseball and stuff like that. You know, close friends of mine and stuff. Like, I had one of them call me the other night, and I was talking to him about, you know, my career and talking about life and stuff like that. And he's like, dude, I literally have to remind myself every second, like, and step back and say, I'm playing pro baseball. I'm playing a pro sport. Like, it's lost on a lot of people because I would have killed to get that opportunity. You two would have killed to get an opportunity. Mm-hmm. You got that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, to think about that, to play at the professional level, like, it's just like there's so many, and I just think it's not only lost on people what that means and how much it takes to get there, but I think it's also lost on people that at the same time these guys that play at the professional level are still human. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that's missed by a lot of people.
Well, I've had guys that, you know, I play with in Europe and stuff. They come to a foreign country. They're there for a month. They say, I'm homesick. I want to go home.
Yeah.
You know, we had two Syracuse players come over to England at one time, and they were both on the same team. They were roommates, and they decided that this isn't for me. I'm going to go back home. You know, just I mean, it's not for it.
Right? Yeah, it's to each his own. Yeah.
It isn't. It isn't.
A lot of what you want to do, you got to take advantage of the opportunities. Because, like I told you, you know, I started out in the second division, but guess what? Until I can prove that, you know, I'm as good as people want me to be, then you know, I'm going to stay in the second division.
Yeah.
But you know, I was very fortunate enough that you know, one of the teams I played against lost one of their Americans. Who ended up going playing France or somewhere, and you know, I had two good games against the team. Mm-hmm. And you know, they offered me a job the next year. So you know, you never know.
Did you guys now? When you quick question back to Syracuse too, a little fullball question. Were you friends with a lot of guys that played at Syracuse, played football at Syracuse?
Yeah, I mean, I was good friends with you know, Joe Morris when he was there.
Oh, that's
Joe Morris.
They just retired his number this past weekend, so that was
well
a cool
played,
ceremony.
Dale, well played.
Bill Hurley was the quarterback there. You know, we were good friends. Even we had Art Monk.
Yeah,
Art Monk was there when I was there. Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, Randy Edsel.
Sure.
Was at Syracuse.
Really? Yeah, the old coach of UConn.
Yeah. UConn, yep.
And now, where is he? Maryland now?
He's at UConn. He's back at UConn.
He's back at UConn now? Is he really?
He's back there now, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah.
And then
I beat him last weekend.
A guy, Kenny Clark, that was on the offensive line for the Jets back in the 70s.
Okay.
Went to Syracuse.
All right, yeah. So it's always interesting to hear, you know, having played sports in college, the crossover between teams. We didn't cross over much. We were baseball guys. Right. We kind of stayed, for some reason, we stayed away.
Well, I mean, when I was at Syracuse, you know, we all had to share the same locker room facilities, football and basketball. So it was a situation where you've seen these guys every day. They're coming out of practice, or we're going into practice, or we're coming out of practice at the same time, and you know, we had to share facilities. Then now everybody's got their own facilities, separate football facilities, separate basketball, separate lacrosse, separate track. So everybody's got their own areas where they're at now.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, it was cool at the Dome this weekend. You know, they did it during halftime. I had to pee really bad, but I'm like, I'm not missing this.
No,
you know, because the highlight reel.
Stay away from the trough. They go to the trough. You waited to go to the trough.
No, I always go to the trough. The freaking line to the stalls is just terrible. So
the trough is the worst.
This trough
it is. You get somebody else just splash back.
No, the guy next to you is always cool. You know.
For the record, they don't have those in the locker room.
It's better than were in Europe, because in Europe it's on the floor.
You pee on the floor?
Yeah, it's like a long drain on the floor instead of a trough.
You were going to the bathroom in the wrong spot, dude.
He was actually showering at the time.
The Dome is a lot better than some of these facilities in Europe. I tell you.
I know. At least it's running water in the trough at the Dome. Yeah.
So,
but anyway, so yeah, it was a great montage.
I like making the plastic cups move down the
of Joe Morris, his college career, and then I don't know why I completely went blank, but yeah, he played for the Giants. Totally forgot that. Won a Super Bowl with them and everything.
Yeah. That little thing.
Yeah, right. It was just I was there for Syracuse at the time, so I blanked on
one of the
whole
few
Giants
good
thing,
backs from the Giants. I mean, when you think about the Giants, you don't really think about their running backs, and Joe Morris to me is one of those guys that stood out.
Yeah.
But excuse me, let's segue into Caleb was right. The Caleb was right segment of the week.
Oh no.
Do we want to talk about the Houston Texans and the New York Giants last week, boys?
Oh my God, dude, Houston was so bad.
Yeah.
I told you, I
terrible.
called it. My lock of the week last week. The Giants beat the Texans. They did it. All right. I might have predicted my Jets for a victory, but you know what? That's okay. It's all right because
that's where you lose all credibility.
Beat the Texans
because you're a homer.
Giants. Oh yeah, of course I'm a homer.
Well, they're playing Cleveland, so you almost have to.
Stupid.
You're stupid.
Did you guys catch this story about Emerson Griffin?
Yeah, so I guess he's been going through a lot of problems, man. I mean, and it just goes to show you that the life of a professional athlete is not easy. All right, people think it's just all it's a cherry walk and it's just everything's easy and it's flowers and green grass and everything. But being a professional athlete is just like all of us waking up to go to our jobs too, our day jobs too. I hate to say it, and people think that just because they get so blinded by a dollar figure and that the dollar figure is the way that moves these athletes' lives.
People are like, oh, they're all millionaires. Well,
so wait a minute, you're saying money doesn't make everything better?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
A lot of times it adds a little more pressure. And I think Brock, what the hell's his name?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Osweiler. Yeah.
Again, he's gone already.
It's pressure.
But
it's
I
pressure,
think because he went for that huge contract, now he had these huge expectations, and it was more than what he was able to do. He was a decent, check down quarterback.
Yeah.
He's definitely he had a big arm. He probably could have been a starter somewhere eventually. He wasn't ready to go yet, but then he took the big money, and then he looked like a failure after 1 year because he didn't live up to that big money.
Yeah.
And then now he's.
But he's got it. I mean, he's got that money. He's still a backup in the league now in Miami. But
right. But I think it hurt his career more.
It did. But
he's in a good place now. I mean, Miami. Adam Gase and Loggins. What's that comedian's name?
I don't even. But I
Patton Oswalt.
But getting back to this,
I hesitate to say it's even about coaching because sometimes it's a lot of things that guys just don't deal with well. Some guys don't deal with the limelight well. It doesn't happen.
It's they put too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah, this Emerson Griffin thing is nuts though. I mean, this guy, he was like throwing a fit in the facility, yelling and screaming. Yeah. At one point, he was like laying down in a hotel lobby, like right in the lobby floor.
Yeah.
He was seen at he broke into a teammate's house.
Yeah, Trey Wayne's house. Yeah, it's and Wayne's, and that goes to show you the camaraderie of a team and stuff like that. Wayne's has denied all of it and said it never happened and stuff like that. And that's that's being a teammate. But I mean, look at another. Hey, I'll tell you another guy who was at the top and went down real quick, and his name's Vince Young.
Yeah, but
Vince Young went through a lot of the same thing.
Vince Young didn't jump out of a moving ambulance.
Yeah, but Vince Young left the Tennessee Titans facility and told the last person that he left when he left the Tennessee Titans facility that he was going to kill himself.
Yeah. Well, what about that guy a few years ago that came in the facility and killed himself?
You don't know what these guys are going for. You can get to the top and you can think that you're at the top and you can think that it's the greatest thing in the world, but you don't know what it's like.
This incident right here reminds me a lot of Alonzo Spellman. Alonzo Spellman used to play for the Bears and he played for the Cowboys, and he had a lot of mental health issues. And the guy was a physical freak. I mean, he was huge, especially back in that era. I mean,
was it size 22 shoes or size 18?
He was a monster.
Crazy.
Dale, when you play in front of 10,000 people, as you're the only one of the three of us who can attest this. When you play in front of 10,000 people, you still hear the boo birds. You still hear them.
Well,
you hear the crowd.
I try not to pay any attention to them because it's like I tell kids nowadays. When you're out there playing, the only people you should hear is the guys on your team and the coach and the guys on the floor with you.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta block all that out. And I'm a firm believer. Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You're gonna get the criticism. You're gonna get the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want to say. And you gotta be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Ignore it because guess what? I feel this way. You paid your entry fee. You're entitled to your opinion.
Right.
but make sure you keep it at a distance from me.
Sure, sure.
I can hear you, but I don't want you in my face with your opinion.
Right.
If you want to say from your seat
don't throw
in the
anything
stands,
at me.
Right.
or your seat in the stands, you say whatever you want to say, but don't get in my face.
Just because they have an opinion doesn't mean you have to hear it.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's
Well, in this Griffin thing, like I wonder though if it's a result of like a head injury, like if he's like
could be
CTE.
I mean, these guys, they get lower injury and stuff, and we hear it all the time. Guys just take painkillers, and now you're addicted to painkillers. Now you don't have it. Now you're going crazy trying to figure out how am I going to get through this without taking it, and that's where a lot of these guys lose their minds.
Yeah, and I give credit to the Vikings. They're not letting him play. They're letting him go through a psychiatric evaluation. Check his mental health, which is something that needs to happen. I think they needs to pay more attention to the mental health of these players.
Yeah,
not just with the CTE and the concussions, but actually what's going through these guys' brains. I mean, I think of like Lawrence Phillips, sneaking in a girl's house and breaking in and watching her sleep.
Right.
Like they do some crazy shit, and you guys are like,
oh, who was the mad pooper? Broke into a girl's house and took a poop in her. Was that Amon Green?
Couldn't
no,
it was a Green Bay Packer.
I don't know.
Oh, who was the running back who did that?
I don't remember. But yeah, it's the living with that stuff. It's the living with the pressure of that stuff. So I'll tell you,
Oh, it's tough.
I got to look it up now.
You got to, years ago, that's all they do. Take a couple of these and go back and play.
Yeah, well, that's what they did against the Bears.
Here's a handful.
Evaluated, and
Aaron Rodgers was flying like a kite after that game.
Yep.
I mean, he was high as a kite. And Brett Favre, let's face it, Brett Favre, you don't go that many years without missing a game and not take some painkillers. And he admitted he was hooked on the painkillers.
I also too, to steer down a little quick different route, because we did have an interesting week in the NFL this past week. I just want to touch on something else. The magic is gone.
The Patriots lost?
The magic is gone.
Oh.
The magic is gone in Tampa Bay, everyone. And
Do you really think so?
No. And I said
no.
Dude, if you guys are going to start talking about that second half, the magic is gone. He looked terrible. He looked like himself, and it's gone.
He still put up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And what happened?
All right, are we already getting into picks here? Because
no, we're not getting into any picks. We're not getting any picks. I'm talking about last week.
I'm just saying, just let's go against the Bears defense this week.
The magic.
The
is
Bears
gone.
had a huge problem.
Why don't we wait till we talk about the Bears on that one?
The magic is gone. The Fitz magic is gone, gentlemen. It's gone. Pittsburgh showed that it.
I don't think it's gone. He lost one game. He still put up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's lost.
Name me another quarterback in the league that put up
games.
400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's lost 100.
He's had 13 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
Threaten him when he's coming back. If a bad game or something.
So you're going to go back to Winston? Like, come on.
They shouldn't.
No, absolutely not. He's got that team moving. Yep. He definitely does. I don't think Fitzmagic.
The magic is gone. The magic is gone.
He had one bad game.
It's going to be proven.
It wasn't even that bad.
It's going to
he
be
still put
proven
up great
week.
numbers.
No problem.
He had a bad first half.
Right. Right.
It was a bad first
and
half.
it was a closer game than what it looked, at first.
They missed a field goal in the first half.
And a couple of players dropped some balls they should have caught.
Yeah, but we did get one of the best stiff arms in that game.
That was it couldn't have happened against a better guy. He's now out 6 weeks. He's on IR.
Good.
That blew up Twitter. That, I wasn't really locked in hard on the game at that point, and I looked on Twitter and it was trending.
I laughed.
He was trending.
I laughed my ass off.
Guy.
and everybody feel free to look up Chris Conte versus Buffalo. You'll see a stiff arm like that of similar fashion.
Vance McDonald made him look like a child.
And Chris Conte, I mean, dude, this guy, I don't know, he used to have naked pictures on Lovie Smith or something, because this guy should have been canned a long time ago.
Lovie's been gone from the team for 2 years. How he's still on that roster, I have no idea.
Because once in a while, he make a good play.
Once in a while.
Oh, there you go. I also I think the other thing that's really noteworthy, and for both teams in this game, the Dolphins and the Raiders. I mean, John Gruden's 0-3. All right, the Messiah is 0-3. All right, and I guess the devil is 3-0 at Adam Gase. All right, because it blows my mind. I mean, I that game. The fact that Miami's getting it done with the cast of characters that they have blows my mind. They're not that good, but they're just getting the job done. Gruden's team looks lost. They look like they're still playing for like Norv Turner 20 years ago. And it's just I don't know what's happening in Oakland.
Well, they got no defense.
They have no defense, but at the same time, I think they have no defense because they thought that offense was going to be something, and it's not. It's putting up 20 points a game, and that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it in the NFL. It's not going to make it happen. And I know Gruden was brought in to go through the transition to go to Vegas in a year or two, or whenever they're headed there, whenever the stadium gets done. But man, it. Even he's scratching his head.
Well,
Even he's.
I think he'll figure it out once he gets to play.
Pretty well. But
And I think with the Giants playing Houston came at a perfect time for the Giants to play a team that's on the downtrend or like that's struggling to get their roots in the ground.
JJ Watt's still got his, but other than that,
are you guys making excuses for your Texans now from last week?
No, dude. I was on the fence that game, and I went with Houston because they were the home team, and the Giants just went in there and destroyed them. So you know what? Props to the Giants.
It was a good game for the Giants to get their feet under them. Like when they played Dallas, they looked flat. They looked flat like pretty much the whole season, and it was about time that they actually got their feet under the ground and with
as flat as Dallas against Seattle
with Barkley. You know what I mean? Like they got a win. It was a good win. They needed it. And let's just see if they can carry that momentum forward.
Sure. I agree. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm
not sold on Eli, though. I think it's almost time to start looking outside of Eli.
I mean, I think it is. I think they agree, too. I think it's coming. I think they'll be making that move soon.
But, like the New York Elite, they're like, oh, my God, Eli's a savior because he led into 2 Super Bowls. But
yeah, but it's going to be what have you done for me lately?
Exactly. Anybody
what
else,
have you done for me lately? My motto.
We're talking about what's his name over in Baltimore getting canned.
Joe Flack.
No.
Or Jim Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh.
Mike. One of the Harbaugh brothers. They're both going to get canned at the end of the year, so it don't matter.
About canning him, and the guy's won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But Eli is untouchable, and like to me, like Eli hasn't put up the numbers. With that shitty O-line, they need a guy that can actually scramble and get outside the box. And I think if they went and looked at a quarterback where he can get outside, I think it'll help him immensely. And that was like the difference when like you see some of these younger guys coming in, like Josh Rosen coming in for
Stafford.
Bradford.
Bradford, whatever.
And Bradford, I mean, he's a statue. He's terrible. Whereas now you got a younger kid that can move. You can get outside the box, run the ball a little bit, keep the defense a little bit more honest.
Sure.
It just these statue guys, unless you have a good offensive line, they're garbage.
Yeah.
Well, people got to realize as you get older, the legs start going, so you can't run too much.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the legs start to go as you get older. I'll keep that one in mind, guys.
Unless you're Brady, but Brady
he's not running too far.
Brady's like Marino though, like he can move a lot in that little area just to avoid those sacks and whatnot.
That handshake wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, they damn near hugged and kissed at the end there. Yeah. I mean,
he loves Vrabel. Vrabel's his guy.
Well,
Vrabel and McDaniel, or not Vrabel, Patricia,
right.
and McDaniels are his guys.
I didn't see that one coming. I didn't think the Lions had it in them to beat the.
The Patriots have looked volatile so far this year, but I listen.
Once they get Josh Gordon up to,
you'll never find me betting against that team.
They're talking about trading Gronk and everything, and
the distractions.
You can trade Gronk though.
Well, the distractions got in the way. The distractions got.
Yeah. He said he would quit before he went.
Yeah.
He said Brady's his quarterback. Good for him. You're my man, Gronk. I love Gronk. So
my brother just said Eric Flowers gets taken out and they actually win. Coincidence?
Yeah.
And he's right. How is Eric Flowers?
That's what I'm saying. It's offensive line help that
the only time you hear
winning.
And like you were saying about the O line, like the only time you hear an O line mentioned is when they do something bad.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get these guys don't get the credit, during the game because they're doing their job. They're not getting called out.
That's why there's. It's funny too because you look at different colleges and. You're a Syracuse football guy, right, Dale?
Yes.
Okay.
He better be.
There's two things. There's two things that Syracuse, or 3 things Syracuse produces nonstop of. 1, offensive linemen.
Salt.
2, cornerbacks. 3, DNs.
Yeah.
That's their MO. You look at the offensive linemen that come out of there. They dominate. They dominate the NFL. There's something about the teaching process. You have to start it, and it's having that assurance coming out of that certain program that, hey, this guy.
They had a few decent corners and safeties that come out.
They have. They've done. I mean, Syracuse has just had trouble putting it all together.
Right.
Where they have the pieces, the really good pieces, but trouble putting it all together. That's all.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's. And it's coming.
It's getting there, and unfortunately, Dungy's going to be gone because he's got all the heart.
Yeah, he's a good. Yeah, but that who was the kid that came off the bench last week? That or the redshirt freshman. He looked good last week too. He just looked fired up. He brought that certain thing to a team. And there's something you can. I'm a believer that you might not have the 150% skill that it takes. You might have just the 100%, but if you bring that flair and you bring that spark to your team, that's the other 50% you need. I'm a firm believer in that. I've told a lot of guys that there's some guys that I've coached that weren't the most talented guys. You make them better, but what they bring to the field is something different. You know that
one of my favorite guys playing like back in the day.
All guys are your favorite.
When you go back to like that hard nose team guy, you guys are gonna love this. Wayne Corbett.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Wayne.
Now that's a guy that like went across the middle and take that big hit and like get back up and line right up and didn't brag. He wasn't the showboat, but man, that guy can play. He was a baller, man. I love guys like that. That come out with that fire and that. And you're right. And how do you not get fired up with a guy like that? He's not the most talented.
Oh, he went to a small school too.
Hofstra,
yeah,
Hofstra.
Yeah.
You know who else? You know who else too? Who was probably the best receiver ever to come out of Syracuse? Who did the same thing? Who was always there for his boys? Was Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison. Yep.
That dude would it's a lesson you learn early in your sports career. Look to your left, look to your right. You're only as strong as the two guys next to you, and then all the lockers beyond them. That's what one of my coaches said to me when I was younger. And I'll tell you something, that's something I still carry with me, because if you don't have those guys, then fuck it. You might as well not even do it. So because you're only as good as they are, and they're only as good as you are, and look down the rest of the way down, and look even past them. Look into the coach's office.
I think that's where Baker's success is going to come from.
Yeah,
is he's got that team rallying around him. They love him.
Did you see how excited Joe Thomas was?
Did you see how excited Landry was?
Yeah,
him and Landry are hugging each other like they've been playing for years, like they're best boys.
Joe Thomas is working for the NFL Network now, and he's fist pumping on the sideline. What does that do? Like, that just energizes a team, and that's what it's all about.
And then he goes, cuts that cake
and
gives the first piece to Joe Thomas.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Paying respect to the guy that protected the quarterback's ass all those years, even though he didn't get to play with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's Joe Thomas. That's the only guy you're going to look at a Hall of Famer in the past 30 years at the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy deserves respect, and Baker Mayfield went and gave him respect. He got that team rallying around him. You could just see the energy. As soon as he came into the huddle, everybody was rallying.
Yeah. He's got that little cockiness, little arrogance with him, and sometimes the team needs that.
Absolutely, especially a team like that, where you got a guy like Landry who's the same way. You know, he's that boaster, like shit talker. You know, want to go out there and ball out, but then you get a quarterback kind of the same way, and these guys start gelling. Man, they're gonna be a fun team to watch. But we should probably get some of these picks.
Let's pick some games.
We got a great game going on here tonight.
All right,
the Rams and the Vikings.
The Vikings go into Los Angeles into the what do they call that place out there?
Rams cover this easy.
Rams cover this easy.
Yes.
Now Rams are missing their top two corners. They're missing Peters, and they're missing.
But Minnesota's not going to have enough time, thanks to Rams D line. After what Buffalo did to him last week, I've got no faith in the Vikings D line or O line at all. They're not going to have time to do anything.
I would agree. I'm going Rams here.
Dale?
In fact, I'm writing down Rams cover easy.
And I mean, I also think the difference maker in this is that Gurley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He just wear him down. I stick with my Rams Super Bowl pick right there.
Cooks ain't no joke, but Curly can do it all. Yep. I mean, Gurley. Sorry,
Gurley. No, I was thinking fries.
We've got Cody. We got Cody checking in. I do have to mention that sadly Cody moved to Raleigh this week for a career opportunity. My best friend Cody.
Oh, did he?
It's good to hear Cody out there. Cody, good to hear from you down there in Raleigh, North Carolina. They still get internet down there in Raleigh. All right, I thought they just got it here in Utica.
I got a buddy who lives down there. I checked on him during the storm.
They've got internet down there.
Yeah, they're good.
He is saying that
there he is.
He is your boy Cody saying that Peters is active, but not sure how much he'll play.
Yeah, it could be kind of a decoy type thing. So okay.
And Zach is saying the Rams is the team to beat, and KC is good, but not his number one is now. But
yeah, Zach's right because we talked about that last week.
So you're saying KC is number 2?
Yeah, I think that
poop joke.
Yeah. Ooh.
Here's a more interesting game. Like normally, New England Patriots and the Dolphins, and normally you'd be like Patriots.
I'm really surprised at the 6.5 point line.
This is in New England, though, boys. I mean, come on.
Miami has not fared well there the past few years.
Yeah, by the way, we don't pick with the spread, so don't think you have to.
No, it was
spread. It's just straight winners. So obviously, we're going to make this easy. We're going to pick the
or in my
because it's TB12. TB12 will be no problem. Thank you. Tom Brady's playing in that game, right?
Yep, I got New England also.
Yeah, because Tom Brady's going to play in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm going. I think the Miami upset they're due in New England. I liked the way they played last.
Miami kicked the crap out of New England last year. If you guys remember, they kicked the crap out of New England, and
I'm going Miami here. I really am,
and I'm kind of like,
don't look at me weird.
You guys okay?
And Miami's 3-0. New England's kind of. But that being said, New England doesn't lose 2 games in a row.
I'm going the real Fitzmagic here.
This is Tom Brady. Like, it's just Tom Brady.
I'm done believing in the system. The system has screwed me 2 weeks in a row.
I'm going New England. They don't lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
I'm going Miami. The end of an era is happening in front of our eyes.
Oh, my God.
And here's the battle of who.
I really wish Greg was here.
Mute him.
in the battle of who could give a rat's ass. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans.
The Hooten Texans?
Oh, my God. I spelled that wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Hooten Texans.
Yeah. Might as well put a W in front of it.
Hey, and by the way, chicken, don't start with in the battle of who cares. Your boy Deshaun Watson's playing this game, right? You've worn that guy. You wear that guy. He's your boy.
Andrew Luck's back.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a pretty good game.
No.
Okay, I've seen the Indies played pretty well.
They've played pretty well.
They showed up. They showed up pretty damn well against the Philadelphia team.
Frank
this
Reich's
past
got
week.
this team playing well.
Yes,
and honestly, I think it's better that they what's his name rescinded his offer, Daniels.
Oh yeah,
and because
you're happy with Frank Reich.
I like Frank Reich for this team. I think he was a career.
He's got him playing tougher. He's definitely got him playing tougher.
I'm going to go ahead and circle Indianapolis.
That's what I got.
And I'm gonna say Indy wins this game, and I will say we will have our first head coaching vacancy on Monday.
You think Houston? Oh yeah,
Bill O'Brien.
Really, this early
is out on Monday.
I think they wait till he goes 0-5.
That will make Houston 0-4, and he is gone. All right, so
Shaq, who are you going with?
I think I want Houston to win that one.
He's going Houston. All right, he's saving Bill O'Brien's job. I'm getting rid of Bill O'Brien. All right, I got no faith.
One thing I do like about Houston having over this team is they got way better receivers in Houston. I mean, Fuller and
you're right. They've got on paper they've got a good squad. I don't just the O line is just terrible.
You've lost the voice in the locker room. They've lost it, and you know why? And you know what? This is very easy. This is very easy to replace Bill O'Brien. You want to know why? You have an experienced head coach on your staff, and wait for it, it's Romeo Crennel. You ask Bill O'Brien. Romeo Crennel is your new head coach. He's the DC. See you later, Bill. I like Bill O'Brien. I'm a big fan of Bill O'Brien, but it's not working out. You're 0-4. You have a rookie quarterback. It's time for a new voice. Monday morning,
sophomore quarterback.
Monday morning, you'll have correct. Monday morning, you'll have your first head coaching change.
I don't think it'll be that early. I don't.
The next one is the battle of the. We expect them to do so much better, and they always end up crappy.
Atlanta's defense has been such a letdown, and now they've got a couple of injuries coming into this game. Cincy lost last week, like I thought. But they're still a solid squad. But I'm going with Atlanta. Atlanta, they're scoring on a lot of possessions.
These are two teams I can't faithfully say, okay, this team is going to beat them.
Atlanta at home against Cincinnati. Okay, that's not okay. Atlanta.
I'm going Atlanta though.
How good? Also, I'll tell you something though. Calvin Ridley had his coming out party this past week. The former wide receiver from Alabama, number one.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
he came out like a storm.
Like every other throw. Yeah. It was.
Oh, my God. And that's exactly what Atlanta wanted to do. Hey, you're going to cover Julio? We got Calvin Ridley. I'm telling you, telling you something. Calvin Ridley, I think, is going to be something special.
Yeah,
and I don't believe in a lot of Alabama players because if you look at the track record of Alabama professional players, it's not that great. It's not that great. They're not going to blow you away. They're not going to be overwhelming. But I think Calvin Ridley's special. So
I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go Cincy.
You're going. Oh God, are you okay? Is everything okay over there?
That was weird.
This is one of those ones that like fuck it. Like I literally I have no faith in either team.
Oh yeah. By the way, Caleb won last week 10-6. Me and Zach came in at 8-8, and Chicken had 5 wins.
So yeah, you're good.
Zach,
you keep picking those weird ones.
Are you going to Atlanta or Cincy?
Everyone went to Atlanta, but you
I
go.
got Atlanta.
You got Atlanta. Packers versus the Bills.
Don't ask Dale if he's an idiot. He's a guest of our show. Okay, you have Atlanta or Cincy. Are you dumb or not? Okay.
Packers or the Bills?
Which team shows up? That's all I want to know. Which Green Bay Packers shows up? Which Buffalo Bills shows up? Then I can make my pick.
Last week I said it. Okay, the Packers barely beat the Bears when the first game week 1. Then they tied Minnesota.
Right.
So then last week they lose to Washington.
Yep. In Washington, but it's like okay, so then Washington lost to Indy. It's just so weird, man.
Green Bay hasn't really shown me that dominance that they showed in years past, especially with Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
Right.
And like I'm questioning and then the Bills threw that wrench in. Like normally I'd be like Green Bay, easy.
Yes, right.
And then like what the Bills did to Minnesota last week, and then kind of seeing Green Bay faltering, it's like wow, this is a little more interesting than I would expect.
This is going to be a better game than anybody could imagine. But it's Packers minus 10.
10 points is a joke, but I'm going to still take Green Bay. I know. You said, that Green Bay team of last week scares me just a little bit.
They've been scared all season so far, though. Like I said,
he's right. If Buffalo gets around that corner once and takes him out, then we're all sitting here. Everybody who picks Green Bay just pooped their pants.
But like we said last week,
Najee Davenport, the guy who pooped in the laundry basket.
Who's on Washington? We said that last week. Like, who's their wide receivers? Who's on Washington? Like, that scares you. And then they came out and beat the Green Bay.
Tough loss for the Packers this past week too. They lost Muhammad Wilkerson.
Can we come back to this game?
I
need a minute.
No. I'm picking Green Bay. Green Bay all the way.
Also.
And it's Green Bay. It's Green Bay for the simple fact that last week the Bills played. And you're going to say, cover around the corner in one play. It's the same with any quarterback. Could be the same with any quarterback.
They got off to a great start.
Last week they played Kirk Cousins and Minnesota, who did not move the ball over the 50-yard line until halfway through the third quarter. That ain't no problem for Aaron Rodgers. And also, good for the Bills going into Green Bay early in the season, so it's not bitterly cold. But it's
like the Bills have a problem playing in the cold.
I know. Yeah, you can't even use weather. It's
Buffalo
literally
cold.
It's an orange versus a clementine.
But here's the thing. In Caleb's defense, Buffalo's usually out of the scenario. They're like out of the playoff hunt by the time the snow flies. So they kind of pretty much gave up on this.
This is the Packers. This is the Packers by 7, not 10, but it's the Packers. The Packers win. I don't. Yes, Josh Allen showed me something last week, and it's something to build on. But I mean, Buffalo had to win one game, I guess. So
I'm going Packers.
I'm going Bills.
Let's move on before I change my mind.
I'm going Bills because I like the addition of Josh Allen. I like that there's no tape on this kid right now. You know, what he did against a way better Minnesota Vikings defense than Green Bay even comes close to, and he shredded them.
You're gonna have to write a fairy tale storybook. Play script to beat Green Bay.
Minnesota's defense is 100 times better than Green Bay's.
Mike McCarthy is still the head coach in Green Bay, though.
Yeah, all right, here we go. I'll make it interesting.
Fired up he was last week when they were getting the shit kicked out of him.
Bills win. I bring in some of my homemade apple crisp.
Wow!
And if the Bills lose, he brings in some.
We're going apple picking this weekend, so I'll put that on the line.
All right.
Regardless, I'm coming in with apple crisp next Thursday.
We'll see who wins.
All right,
Detroit. The Detroit Lions, coming off a 26-10 win, goes into Dallas and plays the Cowboys.
Detroit.
Think so.
Dallas being home.
Dallas is just terrible. They've beat the Giants.
Yeah, but
what?
This is tough.
Come on, defeat that argument right there.
They beat a Giants team that haven't figured themselves out yet, too. You know,
and they lose to Seattle. Seattle's shit. Detroit rides the hot streak. Matt Patricia and the boys.
I think he's righted the ship.
I think Zeke does have a day though for Dallas. I think Zeke is a huge play for Dallas. So
this is a tough game because
it is.
Two teams that you really don't have a beat on.
Yep.
Again, I'd probably say Dallas would win.
This is that tweener week. These are a lot of close games that are just weird, and we still don't know the identity of each team yet.
No, I mean Detroit gotten the crap kicked out of them a few games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Detroit because I just
hate Dallas. It's basically my passion here.
I can't even circle the Cowboys. It's like I go to circle the Cowboys and it just hits Detroit, which is weird because I hate Detroit too. But.
Like last week, you circled Tampa Bay even though you're a Bears. Sorry, you circled. You circled Arizona, but you're a Bears fan.
Dale, who you got over there?
I got the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Ooh, one odd man out.
I don't.
It's a tough call.
Cowboys at home. You can't. It's hard.
It's always hard to go against the home team. It really is.
My brother said, "Why are they even
That's
playing?
A great
it's
point.
Not Thanksgiving.
That's a great point. Why are they playing?
It should be a Thanksgiving game. At least then you have food and get fat and fall asleep at halftime. Which I'll probably fall asleep at halftime anyway.
There you go, Chick.
Here we go again. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New York Jets.
The football Jets.
The only
The Jets.
That's easy.
Jacksonville just stunk last week. Tennessee's defense played really well.
Circle the Jets.
I can't
Jets do it.
No,
they come out inspired. Darnold wasn't that good last week. He was pretty bad.
I think not going to be that good this week.
I think the speedy Jaguars defense handles him.
Way better defense.
Yeah, this is a better defense. I'm going Jacksonville.
I would disagree with that point.
It's still maybe a 9-6.
I'm going to mute you now.
12-6
game. I would disagree that you're calling Jacksonville's D way better than Cleveland. I think Cleveland's
you want to get muted?
I think
you're talking nonsense right
now. So bring up the defensive rankings, please.
Oh, okay, you got it, sir.
Tell me who has a better.
As long as my internet's working just fine.
Via stats.
And then we're looking for Cleveland.
And Cody, by the way, you picked the Jags, but we need you out there on the Lions and Cowboys game. Whenever you can throw that.
He said Lions.
That too.
He said Lions.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Oh, it didn't come up on my screen. Oh. Thank you, Cody. But yeah, I'm telling you something. Listen, people underestimate Cleveland's defense, so but I will say that I do not think that Sam played well last week. I'm not trying to defend him in any way, shape, or form, but I do think that he comes back strong this week, and I think that they have a shot of beating a down Jacksonville Jaguar team.
I don't know. I think Jacksonville's going to put up 40 on them. I do. I think.
You think they're going to put up 40?
Did you just say 40?
Yeah, I think so.
40.
I think
they scored 6 points last week.
Doesn't matter.
All right. So Cleveland is the 13th ranked defense, and the Jaguars are the 8th. No, sorry, the 4th. The Jets are the 8th.
Okay.
So, those are two pretty good defenses.
So we're talking about two good defenses going against each other too. So we got to.
And it's 20 Jaguars versus 21 Jets offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's going to come down to defense.
This isn't 7.5.
Again, I'm going to Jaguars.
Is Leonard Fournette playing?
But I love the Jags though.
You know what? I looked that up today and I didn't find out, and now I need to know because you asked.
Cody says blowout.
Yeah, I agree. If you remember from last year, every time Jacksonville took a loss, the next week they blew the other team up.
Yeah,
and
they always have those 2 or 3 flop games, the past couple of years, and then they come back and win 44-0. So yes, that last week was that flop game.
Dale, give your gospel. Go ahead. Who are you picking?
I got the Jets.
Of course, he's going to pick the Jets.
Gospel.
They're bringing it back, Gastineau. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we got
Gastineau.
We got 2 Jets. So who are you picking?
Limited playing time today, so that's still a possibility for Fournette. Oh, I'm picking Jacksonville.
I'm sorry. Chicken?
Jacksonville.
Nice. All right. So Tampa Bay, after their pathetic loss to Pittsburgh, is going to go into Chicago for an easy win. Chicago.
In case you missed that.
Chicago easy. And it makes me so angry that Chicago's defense is going to embarrass Ryan Fitzpatrick and make you two more wrong than you already are wrong.
All right. Well, then, if I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong for all the right reasons.
And pick the Chicago Bears because
I'm not.
Too.
I'm not. I'm actually, being a Bears fan, I'm picking Tampa Bay. You know why? Because of what Green Bay did to the Bears.
What?
because of what Green Bay did to the Bears in Week 1. Green Bay.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Second half, Green Bay comes out and does a quick passing offense, right? They just 3 steps, drop back, throw the ball. Bears couldn't stop it, couldn't cover it. That's all Tampa Bay runs. They're in shotgun, 3 steps, drop back, the ball's gone. Wide receivers are in motion.
Yes, but here's a major difference.
Khalil Mack's not going to make a goddamn difference this game.
You're out of your friggin' mind.
Tampa Bay wins this game, and I hate to say it.
Whatever you're smoking, I want some.
I'm just drinking the beer you give me.
Khalil Mack has made a difference in every single game he's played so far.
I know. He's huge. 4 sacks,
And the difference in that Green Bay game, why the middle was so wide open, was Roquan Smith wasn't even playing. Roquan Smith wasn't playing. Now you got Roquan Smith who could cover sideline to sideline like a monster.
I'm going Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Chicago Bears win this game.
Their offense can't do enough. Now that Chris Conte's out, the hole in Tampa Bay's defense is gone.
Do you understand that this is Ryan Fitzpatrick? The Ryan Fitzpatrick that Dale and I watched as a Jet. We watched him do what he did.
Do you remember the first year he played?
Yeah, okay.
He killed it. That first year when he had Brandon Marshall.
I'm going to circle it now so we can just get this over with.
He had Forte. He was a good quarterback.
Yeah, and he had a good defense. He doesn't have a good defense now.
So you're living on the past. I'm living on current.
Oh, no. I'm living on
defense versus offense.
I'm living on the Buccaneers are going to get butt pounded this weekend.
I actually hope they went with.
It's not going to be hard.
If they went Winston, like Jameson, I think the Bears would have broke his leg. Like I would love.
I would feel better if Winston came in. Yeah,
but I feel like with the Bears now, what they need on offense is a heavy dose of Jordan Howard,
which you're not going to get because Tampa Bay Buccaneers are like 1, 2, or 3. They're really high up in rush defense, so they're not letting anybody get rushing yards.
Right.
Jordan Howard's going to have a shit week this week.
I don't think so.
That's my fantasy pick. Do not pick Jordan Howard this week.
Jordan Howard, I bet you this will be a big game for him. I bet you he gets over 100 yards this game.
All right, so we're my apple crisp on this one too.
Bring your apple crisp.
I don't want your apple crisp now.
And also, you know who's going to have a big game here is
every fucking player on the Bears is going to have a big game. That's all you need to say. You don't need to say anything more, Mike. It doesn't matter. Tampa Bay is going to get their ass beat this weekend by.
I want you to be right. I do. I really want you to be right.
Simple.
But
I think Trey Burton is going to be a big part of this game.
I'll be honest with you. You don't deserve to watch that game. All right, if you think this, all right?
I am going to watch.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch that game. You don't deserve to.
I'm going to watch it. Probably spooning him.
Dale, we don't have to ask you. You're picking the Bears, right? Dale, you're going to pick the Bears.
I got the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
I'm going Bears all the way in this game.
Take the hat off.
I think like what you're saying.
I'm just a realist. As much as a fan I am, I got to go with
idiot.
I'm 2 games down now. I got to make a game up.
Doesn't matter.
I don't understand. My brother's like confused. He's like, I thought Sil was a Bears fan. Like, what the fuck? Like, really?
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, dude.
Couple Hail Marys for Sil this weekend, everybody.
I mean, the Steelers beat them. The Steelers beat them. This is their first win of the year. The Steelers beat. They tied the Browns. Oh, for crying out loud!
The Buccaneers are scoring, incredible amount of points a game.
You've got to be swearing.
The Bears
You've got to be swearing in front of a lady.
What defense
barely
is
scoring 14. Yeah, no, I
the Bears defense is.
There's a lady here, and I'm swearing. Okay,
it just doesn't.
Come on,
it doesn't fit.
You're an idiot. Can we move on?
The Buccaneers have not played a good defense.
I can't
like
with this. I can't. This is a crime, and it should I
can't wait till you're
call UPD. Honestly, move on to the Eagles and Titans game, please. Introduce it.
Hot lunch.
Please, God.
All right, next game is Tennessee Titans and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Whew. Oh, I'm okay here. And Cody, I'm sorry.
Mariota's playing this week.
I love you, buddy. I'll see you soon. But I'm going Titans because the Titans are hot. Mike Vrabel has that team rallying around each other. They're for the boys. The Eagles. Carson Wentz didn't look so bad last week. Won't hold anything against Carson Wentz, but I'm going to take the Titans. They're just getting it done. They're finding a way to get it done. And I know Mariota or Gabbert, whoever starts, it's tough, but I have to steer away from my Eagles love just this 1 week for the Titans. I think the Titans do it.
Due to injuries and erratic weather patterns, the Eagles will finish a dismal 7-9.
I hope this is one of the 7 then.
Sounds like Dale's got the Eagles.
I can't. Yeah, they're the defending Super Bowl champs.
Correct.
I'm going Eagles.
Cody's right. The Titans are struggling at quarterback, but Cody, you saw the video I retweeted this week. That Titans team is just very united. They're playing for each other. So is the Eagles. I'm telling you, the Eagles have faced a lot of injury, controversy, and stuff like that.
I'm going with Eagles.
And erratic weather patterns.
I am definitely like
Cody might have just made the argument for you guys, but
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Yep, going Eagles here.
I'm doing it one time this week. I've got a game to give on you guys, so no problem.
All right. Here's the Arizona Cardinals versus Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals are they going with Rosen, right?
They're going
Arizona,
Rosen. Yeah. So Seattle.
Josh Rosen is the quarterback.
And I guess with Seattle, like I said last week, all that matters is
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
That's it.
That's all you need. He's one of those guys. All you need is a Brady. All you need is a Rodgers and Drew Brees. Russell Wilson.
I've picked the home team.
You're weird.
Mm-hmm. I think Josh Rosen comes in, energizes that team. I think he gets David Johnson rolling. I think he gets Larry Fitzgerald back on track. And I think the Cardinals win.
I disagree. I don't think Larry Fitzgerald's going to do much this week.
I mean, he had that really nice pass to Sheriff McManus.
I respect it.
He had that really nice pass to Sheriff.
Right, he did.
Who's that guy?
He plays for the Bears.
Larry Fitzgerald is ready to retire, so.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle.
Going with
Seattle?
Yeah, I think you have to in that one.
Yeah. I'm going Arizona. So 3-1.
Raiders versus the Browns.
Now this is a conversation.
This is the Bandage special.
This is
the Dave Bandage.
This is
special.
tough. Oof.
I think Baker Mayfield can have 2 good weeks in a row.
You think so?
I think he can. He's just that.
He's got that swag.
I like the.
He's got that swag.
Not only does he have the swag, but he's got the guys around him who got a little swag to him. Like I like the pickup of Landry there. What's that big tight end?
Njoku.
Yeah, that
David Njoku from the U. From the U.
Carlos Hyde is running well, but that Denzel Ward kid on the defense, the other number 1 pick, everyone's like scratching their head, like, why did you do that? Like that kid's been balling out.
He's been good.
He's been good. Really good. So
he's been really good.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland. I think they're gonna ride the.
This is tough.
It is really tough. It's the Cleveland train, or Oakland's looked decent. They've just. Miami, they're 0-3.
I'm gonna go.
You just can't.
I'm gonna go Cleveland.
I'm going Cleveland
because the unsung hero on that team, and that's that defense. People underestimate that defense, and there's guys on that defense that you don't know that were Pro Bowlers last year. And I'm gonna go Cleveland. So,
dude, last time I picked this many away teams, I went 8-8. I'm not
3.
really liking this away team stuff.
I've only picked 3, so. But we'll stay in California for the next matchup.
Whoa!
Huh?
You got to get a.
Dale, I'm sorry. Yeah, Dale, who you got? Cleveland or Oakland? Cleveland. Yeah.
I think it's a good choice.
That don't mean shit.
It's hard. It's hard to bet on the Raiders right now, though. It's like at least Cleveland, they tied the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
They beat the Jets. You know what I mean? So they only really lost 1 game.
Right.
And it'd been balling out hard. And I think now they get that little chemistry going. I mean, they can make a.
This might be the step that they needed.
Whereas
to get
the Raiders haven't changed anything. They're still going along with the same thing that they've been doing. I think the Cleveland Browns are catching the pants.
Players are trying to get used to Gruden too.
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's a big acclimation process.
Brought him in, and he was supposed to.
So that means the Raiders are 0-4. Huh? Gruden on the hot seat already?
10-year deal. 10-year deal. 10-year deal. He's taking him to Vegas.
Okay, Chargers versus the 49ers.
49ers with a new starting quarterback going into the soccer stadium in Los Angeles.
I'm going to Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I think you have to. I feel bad for
Garoppolo.
I feel bad for John Lynch. I feel bad for Garoppolo. I feel bad for everybody in San Francisco. I just think it's a tough. That's just tough. Garoppolo was playing well. That team was trying to get a spark behind him.
I don't feel bad at all.
No,
you overpaid Garoppolo. You did the trade.
I don't think you can really overpay for a quarterback in the NFL right now.
You paid for a guy that has no experience. Like they anointed this guy top dollar. Right, without having, and the guy hasn't played a full season his whole career.
Yeah, he's done pretty well.
He's been hurt.
He's never been asked to play a full season.
5-2.
Dude, he's never been asked to play.
But they could have spent some of that money on a backup quarterback.
He's never been hurt. He's never been hurt.
Yes, he has. He got hurt in New England. Yes, he did. Remember when Jacoby Brissett had to come in?
He's right.
And fill in for him because he played 2 games, got hurt.
Game and a half.
So now you're looking at a guy that hasn't played a full season, hasn't played more than 5 games in a season altogether.
Yeah, but when you say hasn't played a full season, you're saying the wrong thing because he has never been asked to play a full season.
Well,
he was this year.
I'm just saying he hasn't played a full season. So now you're putting all that money on a guy that hasn't played full season.
And how many guys take a wrong step in shitty mud in a shitty football field and blow their ACL? A lot.
I get it, but you paid this guy a lot of.
Well, that wasn't
money.
shitty mud. That wasn't shitty mud. It was just
you paid a guy a lot of money for a maybe. Like he hasn't proven anything. He beat a couple scrub teams late last year. He played well when he played, but what's their record now? They got what, 2 losses?
Who's that on, bro?
I disagree with everything you're saying, but we can go on from there.
Well, you're a Jets fan, of course.
That doesn't.
What do you know?
What you're saying is not logical.
It's not logical to pay a guy millions of dollars and make him the number 1, highest paid quarterback at that time. For a guy that's proven nothing.
I'm okay with what the 49ers did. Just so you know, Caleb, I'm with you.
I am too. I think it's
on his own little rant here.
You have to, if you don't see an opportunity to improve your team in the draft and you don't see the guy that's there, or maybe you want a proven commodity, you have a proven commodity, and here he is.
He's not proven.
Yes, he fucking is.
He's not proven. He played 5 games last year, or 7, if that.
You were right with 5.
The guy has never lost a game
until this year,
junior year in college.
He lost against.
He's a winner. And oh, by the way, I'm gonna fucking bet every time. Break out your pocketbook. I'm gonna bet every time against a guy who was tutored under Tom Brady, the best football player that's ever played the game.
Did?
Yeah, you love Jacoby Brissett.
Like Matt Castle did? Matt Castle did?
Yeah, and Matt Castle was pretty fucking good when he left New England. He was good. He went 10-6. Where were you?
Season.
Okay.
Then he played with the Vikings.
That's what they asked him for.
He played for the Vikings and
he got put in a bad situation.
Chiefs.
See what you started.
Get the fuck out of here. You're crucifying, and you know what? You're the same guy. You sit over there and you defend
on your high horse.
No, you sit over there and you defend Deshaun Watson like he's God's gift to green.
18 touchdowns.
Did you watch that Seattle Houston game?
He's only played 5 games.
18 touchdowns.
He's only played 5 games.
And he wasn't.
He's only played 5 games.
And he wasn't the number 1 paid quarterback in the league.
5 games.
He wasn't the number 1 paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah, but what has he done this year?
Huh?
What has he done this year? Dick.
What is Garoppolo?
Dick. And without weapons, he's done pretty well.
Without weapons, he had.
Well, he didn't have Will Fuller. He didn't have DeAndre Hopkins.
What has he done? He won 1 game. He lost to the Vikings, who lost to the Bills.
Yeah. How many games has Deshaun Watson won?
1 less than Garoppolo.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but he's making millions of dollars less. Where you could use that money for a back.
He's on a rookie contract. You can't blame him for that.
Yeah, wait till they pay that guy on his 1 ACL, and then we'll talk about it.
He's got a crush on Garoppolo.
Oh, by the way, I got the 49ers.
I love it.
So there's other people here.
Sorry, guys. All right.
So who are you going with?
Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
Sticking with my Super Bowl pick still.
Okay. Drew Brees and the boys will go into New York and play the Giants next week.
I'm going Saints. Their defense is terrible, but what they just did to Atlanta, I'm comfortable with them doing the same thing to the Giants.
I'm going to stay on my G-Men train. I like what they did last week. I'm going with the G-Men.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. So, Dale, what do you think?
I'd like to stay in New York, but
You like those Saints?
Weather in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Their offense is just too high powered. It
is high powered. You're right.
Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I mean,
elite quarterback. No doubt.
I just worry.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. That's it.
Yep.
Now here's my logic. It's not that
Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's not that I want to bet against the Saints. The Saints
Oh, by the way, my brother said still needs to go through concussion protocol. Against the Bears.
True. It's not that I like the Giants to beat the Saints. I just don't like the Saints defense at all. They scare me.
They're terrible. I don't even argue with you.
I don't like the Giants O-line.
Yeah, I agree with you on
You know
that.
what I mean, that O-line is brutal.
I'm gonna go Giants and just go for it. So
I think the Saints, if they just push the ball up, man, they rack up some scores on them.
It's a 4:00 game. Be a little colder. With a nighttime will kick in. That might go against the Saints, and
Is Ingram still out, or is this the week he comes back?
I'm not sure if he's going to play this week. No, he will not. Mark Ingram will be his 4th week suspended, so no, he will not play.
Okay,
all right.
So it's a Kimura show still.
So we got
I'm going Giants.
You're going Giants still. Giants.
Saints.
Fuck
off.
You're going Saints as well. So 3 Saints and 1 Gents.
Okay. The Ravens at the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, and I am going to stick with the hot hand in my fantasy running back pick, John Connor. All right, and I'm going to ride the Pittsburgh Steelers again this week. I thought they showed up last week very well.
James Conner.
I call him John Connor. You want to know why? Because the Jets used to have a
Terminator
fullback.
2.
The Jets used to have a fullback.
There for the
named
John Connor.
Yeah. I'm going.
Don't have my hand.
I'm going to stick with the Steelers. I liked what they did last week. I thought they looked good in the first half last week.
Ravens always play them tough. Ravens, really play the Steelers tough.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
This is
on Sunday Night Football. But I'm
going with the home team here. I'm going Steelers. That's a tough place to play.
Before you go too far, I got to tell you a story about I was in Arizona.
Before I make my pick.
Basketball at Lifetime Fitness with Terrell Suggs.
Oh,
really?
He must be an animal.
Well, this is the guys that were playing: Brian Urlacher, Terrell Suggs, Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald.
Wow, those are some big boys.
Donovan McNabb, and obviously myself.
Did they let you play with them?
Well,
you were the best guy on the court.
They I'm glad I played with them instead of against them. But
there ain't no boxing out. Those big boys
went up for a 2-handed rebound, and somebody stuck their hand over his shoulder between his 2 arms and the ball, and he snatched the ball and snapped the guy's arm right in the head at the same time.
Who did that?
Terrell
Suggs.
Oh my God.
Well, I might pick the Ravens now.
You guys
one of those like this, and the guy reached over. He just snatched it.
Oh my
His
God.
whole arm just. That was it.
If this game was in Baltimore, I'd pick Baltimore. But
No way.
You ever watch Ballers? You guys watch Ballers?
No.
I've heard of it.
Oh, it's a great show with The Rock and Terrell Suggs and The Rock getting in a big heated battle on TV.
That's wild.
It's awesome.
Dude, Terrell
But all those guys could play. I'd seen McNabb on the baseline, back to the basket, drop step, and go dunk it with 2 hands.
Well, he played for SU, like a basketball team. Yeah.
And also, Anquan Bolden was a very good ball player.
Look at that guy.
He's a good. He was just a great athlete.
He's like what, 6'5", 6'6", something like that.
Anquan?
Yeah.
No, he can't be more than about 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, really? I always thought he was bigger than that. That guy's a monster.
Yeah.
This is a tough game. This is a rivalry game.
Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers.
Yeah.
As much as I'd rather go the Ravens,
I want to go the Ravens. It's tough.
Jack, who are you going with?
Steelers.
Steelers?
Yep.
You got to figure they're going to ride a hot hand. This is a rivalry game. I feel like they're going to come up big on this one. I can't go against them.
Pittsburgh's won the last 3, but the Ravens have covered 2 of them. I'm still going Steelers. Yeah, they're both got hot hands right now, so I'm going Steelers. Going home team.
The next one is the Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no brainer for me.
Chiefs. Yeah, I think so too.
There's too much offense, not enough. The Broncos have been known for defense, but not lately. Not too much lately.
It's like been killing it.
I know Von Miller. That's why I'm like I'm.
And then they get
about
Chubb. They get that Chubb kid.
Right.
Like
they still KC's just too much.
And it's a divisional game.
And does
Mile High?
Do the Broncos have enough? Even though the Chiefs' defense sucks, do the Broncos have enough offense? I don't think so.
Well, it's offense versus defense in this game, and it's like
I've heard rumors that was the case.
Well, you got the number 1 offense, and then Denver has a really good defense. And
let's see where Denver is.
This 5 points is way too much. Pat Mahomes gets the job done easy in Mile High Stadium.
But you're a Broncos fan, right?
God, no. God, no. Mahomes has been good.
And my internet went poop.
Mahomes has been insane.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely insane. But I kind of feel like he's going to have some problems with Von Miller. I think he hasn't faced a guy like Von Miller yet.
It's one guy.
Von Miller is one guy that you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, and there's 6 other options.
Well, he's got
offense.
Chubb. They got some defensive players. I feel like Kansas City's going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Mahomes isn't going to come unscathed as he.
You're right. It's not going to be. He's not going to mail this one in.
No,
he's not going to mail this one.
He's going to take a couple sacks and maybe in a sack fumble. I might go out and say
could be. So,
but
no, I like Kansas City. Dale, what about you?
Yeah, the internet poo-pooed on
Kansas
me.
City. Yeah.
Yeah, Casey.
Yeah, Casey all around.
Yeah, Mahomes putting up too many points.
He looks good.
They got a lot
making
of
Daddy proud,
offense.
making his old man proud. His old man was a good baseball player. Real good reliever.
Kelsey in the middle. Tariq Hill.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt. I mean, they got a lot of good weapons.
Chris Connolly's been good for them too. I was just Anthony Sherman's got 2 touchdowns. Their fullback running wheel routes to score. I mean, I don't know. So, but yeah, let's go. I'm going Kansas City to end out the picks for this week.
All right,
that's a sweep on that one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's see how we do. Dale, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Dale.
Sitting with us.
My pleasure. I appreciate it.
It's been awesome talking to you, man. If you want to plug the Sports Express or anything you got going on, please do it right now.
Well, we're a multimedia platform. We're dedicated to community-based sports. We try right now, especially this time of year, we help out with a lot of charity events and fundraisers that you have. So if you need to contact us, my number is 480-225-0806, or you can catch me on the web. It's Shack33@sportsexpress.com.
Yeah, great runners. And Dale brought us in something tonight that actually is close to the D Network and close to my heart from a former job I worked. A past owner or a past boss of mine, his son tragically passed away. So, and Sean Gaffney, who's on the D line, it's his cousin. The baseline D-line.
He's on the D-line sometimes when you're not working.
Yeah, when I'm not here, yeah. Oh, my gosh. But anyways, yeah, so Connor's Way, it's a charity event for Connor Linsky, who tragically passed away this few months ago. They're going to have a memorial, first annual Memorial 5K Scenic Run and Walk Saturday, October 13th at 10 a.m. up on Katy Road in Hinckley. You can register online at connorsway5mile.itsyourrace.com. And I'm sure we'll post a lot of the D Network will post some of the details online, and you can get in contact with any of us about that. But it's a great event for a kid who passed away tragically, and to raise awareness for his cause. And if you have a chance, it's something near and dear to us too as well, because with Gaffney being cousins with him, and it's a good opportunity to give back. So if you have some time on the 13th, go up and get involved. So, and it's in Hinckley, and Hinckley's a damn nice place.
Yes,
so.
it is. Yes, it is.
It's right up by the falls. So,
I also want to give a little love to our sponsors. Stop into the showroom at 5865 Taberg Road in Rome and see why all the customers love their Nye Volkswagen. Mention Disruption Network and receive $250 off any purchase off their website pricing. Check out their inventory at NyeVolkswagenRome.com. Also, we have the second annual Trip Fest coming up. Trip Fest is in honor of Vinny Morial from Captain Trip. He is a local legend in the music scene. His band Taurus, Thunderwalk, Crazy Fools, and the 315 All-Star tribute to Grateful Dead, featuring members of Uncle Fester, Groove Garden, Slug, and Aunt Esther. There's going to be food trucks, beer, wine, local artist displays, and what's cool is they also have Captain Trip's personal treasures, which he had from his stores, all in his storage unit. We're going to donate when you buy them. All the proceeds go to Laney's Army. So it's $10 in advance and $15 at the door. Trip Fest is brought to you by Disruption Network, Doughboy Barbecue, Priceless Inspection, Saranac Brewery, Dr. Scott Delmenico, and Donato Appraisals, who is our landlord here.
Amen.
But so that's it, man. We will see you next week. Dale, thank you so
good
much.
To see you, Dale.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
The original Shack.
The
original Shack is in the house. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned. Bye.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Join us Saturday, October 13th as Disruption Network and Doughboy Barbecue presents Trip Fest 2 at the Jewish Community Center, 2310 Oneida Street in Utica. A night to pay homage to Vinny Captain Trip Moriel. Utica icon, yo! Come pick through all of Captain Trip's personal treasures, local artist display, food from Doughboy Barbecue, beer, wine, and live music. Bands include, after a 24-year hiatus, the return of Taurus, Kate Devin, The Crazy Fools, Thunderwatt, and a 315 All-Star tribute to the Grateful Dead. Tickets are $10 in advance and $15 at the door. Partial proceeds to benefit Laney's Army. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Taurus kicks it all off at 6:30. It's Trip Fest 2, Saturday, October 13th. Trip Fest 2 is sponsored by Nye Volkswagen of Rome, 92.7 FM The Drive, Priceless Inspection, Donato Appraisal Services, Dr. Scott Domenico, and Saranac Brewery.
The Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley was born when 3 top producing agents with over 25 years of combined experience selling real estate joined forces to take real estate to the next level. We practice with honesty, integrity, and the knowledge to help make the buying and selling process easy and stress-free for all of our clients. We pledge to always make our clients our top priority from start to finish and even after the house is closed. We will always be a valued resource for information and assistance for our buyers and sellers. Our customers over the years have become not only past clients, but great friends. As we join hands together as the Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley, we look forward to serving our clients and our community and making a positive difference. You can reach us at 315-601-9630 for all of your real estate needs.